wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. Waste time on massive. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, yo, 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 yo. Waste time on massive. Everywhere we go. Waste time on massive. Tell them how we got this skill. Waste time on massive. Everywhere we go. Waste time on massive. Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Waste time on massive.
Oh, it's European champions. Welcome to Claret and Booze. I see you've all been crying out for a bit of positivity, so it'd be remiss of us for to not bring me on the show tonight, wouldn't it? But I won't dampen the mood. Don't worry, I won't dampen the mood. I'm joined tonight, as usual, by Virgil and Gary, who, when he talks, it does sound like he's sitting on a tumble dryer, but that's because he's got an air conditioning unit on. There you go.
Yeah, I've got to do that until my shed cools down because literally it's boiling in here at the moment.
It ain't too bad. I actually can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Yeah,
Can't hear it now, no.
Might be because I've moved away from it a little bit.
Oh, right,
roasting, isn't it? Roasting.
Yeah, it's boiling.
It is. It is very, very warm. John, how are you, mate?
All good, mate. Loving the weather today. Had a day off from work.
Yeah.
You know, a bit of swim, bit of a sauna for the ladies. That's in the ladies' head there, and the wife fronts. But yeah, just relaxing, really, mate. Boys football and whatnot. So yeah, just still happy. I'm still beaming from the final. I'm sorry to say, it might disappoint some people, but I am.
You can't not be from that. I mean, that's a moment that can never be taken away.
No, exactly that, mate. I just feel like going around saying to everyone, "I've completed it, mate," because I literally, you know what? I sort of feel like it was the one thing that I never thought I'd actually see, as much as I prayed for it. Right? We've said that a million times.
Is my hair putting you off, John?
And now what is going on with your hair, mate? You want an aeroplane?
I've got both windows open. I've got a lovely breeze coming through. I ain't fucking closed them. You're gonna have to put up with it.
You look like a cockatoo.
I like a cockatoo.
Or just a cock.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm buzzing still, you know. And I said this to you, didn't I? I could stop going West Ham and I feel all right, but I wouldn't. Because I've seen us lift a trophy now. It was the one thing.
You're almost making that sound sad, like that scene from Only Fools and Horses when Del Boy, you know, spends his whole life chasing a dream and then he finally becomes a millionaire, and you're like, oh.
No, not at all, mate. No. I feel more like Jay from The Inbetweeners, you know, like completed it, mate. You know, I just feel like, What else now? I don't know. But yeah, still happy, mate. I'm still happy. You?
Yeah.
You still happy, Nick?
I'm happy. I'm happy with a cup win. Yeah. I am.
I like it.
I'm gonna try and hold it all down till later on.
I'm just gonna have a drink. Hang on. Just gonna have a drink. Have a little bit of iron brew.
Well, you've all heard the news, haven't you? You know, and it looks like. Shall I just sing the song? We've got Super David Moyes. He knows exactly what we need. 10 men at the back, 1 man in attack. He'll be here till we're on our fucking knees. He's going to be here for the foreseeable. He really is. But look, at the end of the day, there's not much that we can do about that. There's not. I'm not happy about it. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't hate it. I don't hate him anymore. I'm not going to be aggressively Moyes out. I'm more pissed off with Sullivan at this point because it just felt like this was an opportunity for us to build on some actual success and kind of, you know, make our next manager appointment be one that comes in to move us on to build on the platform of success. Whereas it feels like what the next manager appointment will be when it happens next year or the year after will be when Moyes has failed and we're on our arse and someone's got to come in and save us. It just feels like that's the way that we're.
Well, look, let's not go down that road. I mean, you know, that's it's probably if you want me to put money on how it go, how I think it will go, I think it's going to be very, very difficult in the post-Rice era, right? But it's very easy to just predict and say, oh, it's going to turn to shit because we're losing our best player and look at all the crappy football he played last year and all that sort of stuff, and we've been crap for 18 months and it wasn't even that good in the final. Yeah, get all that, but there's no way they could fire him. No way.
No,
this is where we disagree.
No, Nick. Let's just.
I disagree.
Yeah, but okay, you disagree, but you're misinterpreting.
Leave it there. Yeah.
You're misinterpreting what me and Gary are saying. You think we're saying no. When is I don't remember, apart from PSG managers, I do not remember managers winning trophies and getting sacked, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is I'm not saying, in my mind, and I've said it for weeks, he should win the trophy and walk away with his head held high.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Amicably. That's what I want. But we knew if he won it, he wasn't going to be sacked. Purely because it just doesn't happen in football, Nick.
Yeah, but like I said earlier
not
on,
saying
though,
it's right.
but
I'm not saying it's right.
every situation is unique. You struggle to find. I mean, you can talk about Martinez, but Martinez winning the FA Cup with Wigan was an amazing feat. What he did there, Wigan. Us winning the Conference Cup, we were the favourites in that competition. We had the most expensive squad. We haven't blown anything out of the water. We haven't done a Leicester and gone and won the league. There's a few people that have said that. Now, it was still amazing. It was amazing for us. It really was. But what I'm saying is, it shouldn't eradicate what's happened in the last 18 months.
It doesn't.
And the facts, like I've said, look, I'm not going to go through it all. I've said it all a million times before. I have, you know, and that's the depressing thing, you know.
Yeah,
that's the depressing thing.
Listen, I'm not going to. I'm not even going to get sucked into talking about David Moyes today because I don't really care. In the grand scheme of things, we won a trophy last week. This has been one of the best weeks of supporting West Ham in my adult life. It has been amazing, and having the privilege of going over to Prague and everything else, it's like a dream come true. But it don't matter whether you went to Prague or whether you watched it in a fan zone or whether you watched it on telly with your family, whatever, right? You had the same feelings as I had, and they were feelings of pure fucking elation and unbridled joy like you've never felt. I mean, I've never had those feelings from football as an adult. Seriously, I really haven't. No. I know we've come close a few times. I think I would have had that feeling had Gerrard not fucked it up in 2006.
Yeah.
But I think West Ham Clips caught it, you know, perfectly well, where he listed in sequence order all the failures where we've lost finals, where we've lost fucking semi-finals, where everything just went tragically wrong at the last minute. We just could not buy a win, right? Even when we were favourites, we couldn't buy a win. And then suddenly we get one. We get one right out of the blue, and it's a European trophy. And I'll tell you, I was so proud of that team the other night. And when I'll stop talking a minute. And when David Moyes came on the pitch, again, I don't hate David Moyes in the slightest. I don't admire his football, and I wanted him to go, but I don't hate him in the slightest. And I was so happy for him the other night, bringing his old man on the pitch and giving him his medal and everything else. It was a moment of unity between the fans and the and the players and the staff and everything that you'll just never repeat. You'll never repeat because there's, God forbid, never going to be another 43-year hiatus.
No, it was a gap. It was breaking that 43. If we were to win it next year, even if you won the Champions League next year, it wouldn't feel like that.
We'd still celebrate more than Man City.
You know the interesting thing is that obviously we've heard about all these player unrests and players anti-Moyes and unrest in the dressing room and the changing rooms. Now, there did not look like any unrest on that pitch, right?
No.
Right. So I'm going to just say this: that win could be the catalyst to bring the squad together even more. Whether that's under Moyes or not, I don't know. But what I'm saying is you cannot have a night like that and bond with a band of brothers, to coin a really cheesy phrase, right? But that would make them grow close together. But the only thing I'd say is, obviously, within a short space of time, once the season starts, that can change very quickly. And that's my concern. My concern is that Moyes, who has won a trophy, first time in his lifetime as a manager, first time he's won it for us after 43 years for the club or whatever it is, 47 years.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that, you know, by November he gets a sack and it's all forgotten. Why not?
Yeah,
that's what baffles me.
Just very quickly, Barney's just done me in here. Look, Dan said any truth in the Ansu Fati rumor that's going about. But is that lip Oh, sorry.
So look, I mean, we tend to hate social media, even though we're part of social media, right? We tend to hate it on our phones. It drives us mad. We've all got too many WhatsApp groups. We've all got too many this, too many that, right? Well, I must admit, I had a craving from the minute I stepped out of that ground on Wednesday night. I had a craving to watch it back and watch it back and watch it back. And I watched every single piece of YouTube video, I think, that was out there. I watched everything that was on Twitter. I watched it back to front. I was watching it literally until, I think, Sunday. I stopped. I slowed down and stopped watching it. I think I finally, when the clips thing came out, I think that was the last thing I watched, which was absolutely fantastic, like 45 minutes long, but had a story to it. And one of the things,
can we say that Nigel Khan is scathing because clips beat Nigel to the punch? Nigel was working on exactly the same video, but he took too long to release it, didn't he? And clips came out.
It's easy to say what you're going to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to say what you. I was going to invent the wheel years ago. Someone beat me to it. I mean, that's, we can all say that, can't we?
This is a good point from Garino here. Look, I've always loved Tilo. How do you feel about Tilo now, John?
Oh, Nick, hey, you're such a hypocrite, right? You was the one. Oh, Declan Rice is a shit captain. Oh, now I love Declan Rice. He's brilliant. He's like Bobby Moore.
John, who's got his picture? Who's got his picture?
What?
I paid a fortune for that. Who's got his picture?
I don't care. I've got Mark Noble's right boot. It don't mean I think he's the best West Ham player ever.
You do, though, didn't you?
Well, a little bit. But no, look, I can be critical of a player's performance. We was all critical of Soufal's performances until he, came back into the team January, February, and became fantastic again for us.
I was just asking you how you're feeling about him now, Tilo.
I think he's doing all right. He's not a world beater yet for me.
Do you think he's captain material?
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I think there's a big shout for Aguerd, and I think that makes sense to me. Because
he's really good at blocking shots, Aguerd, isn't he?
Well, I mean, just because Tilo Kehrer got on the microphone, everyone thinks he's some sort of West Ham legend all of a sudden. You know me, I don't say many words, but this is what I'm going to sing. I mean, come on, that don't make you a hero. He sang on the bus. What a guy. What a guy.
See, Andy reckons I'm wearing a syrup. He said that toupee is going to fly soon, mate.
Mate, you need to, he dyes that hair. He dyes it silver just to look like Gary.
Did you hear Danny Dyer's interview on TalkSport the following morning?
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. I'll just play it back, right? It says, he said about Jared Bowen, he said, usually your daughter, they fall in love with people you don't like, and she's brought home Jared Bowen. And he was asked, who do you love more, your grandkids or Jared? And he said, I think I love Jared more than you. Don't tell the wife, though. I'm a bit jealous of my daughter. Yeah. And he said when he scored, he sobbed his heart out. And anyway, got to the bit where he's asked him about the song and said, what do you think about the song? And this is his exact words. He says, well, there's romance in it, isn't there? It's got everything. Firstly, Bowen's on fire, which is unreal. And he's also shagging Danny Dyer. So they're saying it can't get any better. So there's a compliment in there. Sometimes I even start the song off over West Ham.
I bet he don't.
He's brilliant.
I bet he don't.
Oh, dear.
No, look,
great, but it's got to be one of the greatest chants for a player.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
It's already been copied by Man City. Rodri's on fire and whatever else,
Oh, right, okay. He ain't shagging Danny Dyer, though, is he?
It's not shagging Danny Dyer.
No.
It's going to be a watered down, weak version, just like their celebrations the other night. You know what I mean? By the way, that wasn't Man City's fault. Because I was watching it, I was thinking, blimey, 15 minutes after the trophy's been lifted up, they're heading out the stadium. Wasn't their fault. They were actually chucked out.
Oh, I heard something on TalkSport today. They said the policing was terrible, wasn't it?
The stadium was terrible. Apparently, it was huge. It was vast, and some of the seats were just so far away. They felt so. We had the little stadium, which, in retrospect, it was amazing for like the unity between the fans and the players. They were miles away. Away. It was like some of the furthest away seats were further than our furthest away seats.
Oh, Jesus!
But that's the same. That's the same stadium that Liverpool won it back in 2004.
Yeah,
isn't it? When they came back against Milan, isn't it?
I have to look back and check out their celebrations because I think they were probably a little bit.
It was a very muted celebration, but even the players, I don't know, I mean, Haaland looked happy. They all looked happy, but I mean, they weren't.
But they're used to success. It would be, look, listen, we would be exactly the same if we won things year after year. It becomes the champion,
but this is the one they've always wanted, mate. This is the one. This is the one that Pep was brought in to win. This is the one that they supposedly wanted. It just looks so muted to me. Do you know what I
mean? But they're spoiled now, don't they? And I think that's one thing. One thing I will say. I mean, I think you said it earlier on, Gary. Yeah. It probably would take another 40 years to replicate that feeling again, because it was a massive release. That was some celebration, and it wasn't even anything to do with the competition. It could have been. It really wasn't. It was just the fact that we won a cup, we lifted a cup. And yeah, it just
Perhaps it's just me, Nick, right? But the only time in my lifetime it's ever happened that we've been to 2 consecutive cup finals was 80 and 81, right? And 80, I was 10, and the feeling was similar, but obviously nowhere near as fucking magnified as it is when you're an adult, right?
Yeah.
But it was amazing. But I do remember the following year in 1981 against Liverpool, which we lost after a replay as a Division 2 side against the mighty Liverpool. I must admit, I was fucking gutted about that, and I don't know what. Again, we lost in 2006 to Liverpool. How gutting was that?
Yeah, that was.
You know, I honestly, I think we would celebrate really well whether it was our first trophy or our 10th trophy. It wouldn't matter. Obviously, that the other night was really genuinely special, but I think when we win something, yeah, take it down 10 or 20% from that. But you ain't going to go. We like a party, West Ham. We do. We've got the best songs. We like a party. We make a noise, and I don't think there's any room in our makeup for muted celebrations. Do you, John?
No, I don't. I just don't think it's the way we are. We don't. I mean, there is a lot to be said that we don't get a lot of success, obviously, but I just think we would celebrate. Listen, we've celebrated losing to Liverpool in the FA Cup final almost. I remember the aftermath of that, and it turned into a little bit of a celebration, even though we lost. I mean, it's one of the best days at West Ham, even though we bloody lost it. But this is important here. Look, Christopher Murphy. Rodri's on fire and he's shagging Jack Grealish. All out of bubblegum. I was looking through a history book the other day, and I swear I saw Virgil in it. Then I realised it was Henry VIII.
Did he have a massive melon as well, did he?
Was it because I got loads of Vimins? I mean, look, I don't want to get all morbid, but Lee says it here, and we got a little bit emotional thinking about this. I know Gary's video when he spoke about your dad. You know, you do, because, you know, people say, oh, we're a family. And it's interesting that Gary said most West Ham fans, not all, but most West Ham fans, you support West Ham through birth rather than or where you live to some extent. And we know doing this, we've met West Ham fans from all around the world, and that is as important to me. And I think it's interesting that obviously a lot of our fans from America, Australia and all that, they watch shows like ours and shows like the other guys, and it makes them feel even more part of it. And I think that's important, you know. But you know, we think of people we've lost to are big West Ham fans, my nephew, your dad, and you know, needless to say, even more people. And it does make it even more emotional because you wish they were here, didn't you?
It definitely does. It definitely does. And I remember, what was it, when we lost in 2006, me and Nick were there, and there was a guy in front of us saying something like, yeah, dad on his back, didn't he? Or something like that, right? He'd lost his dad. And you know, it means so much to people. It means so much. And I'm just pleased that the youngsters, the people who are younger than 43, and there's a lot of them, they've got to see a little bit of glory, right? I mean, even you two, you were barely born when we won that cup.
I've never.
So this is like,
never witnessed
this is your first experience. So I'm really pleased with that, because I have seen it. To be fair, I might have been young, but I have seen it. Yeah. But I've never experienced it like that.
Ipdex. It's 5 days ago we won this European trophy, and already Ipdex. The only thing that matters for me is we've got to put up with shite football for at least another season.
I do get it, John. I do get it, though. I do get it. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
You're right as well.
We're 4 days in. We've just done it. Like literally.
I know. Look, I get it. I see it from both sides. I see it from both sides. I do. I think everyone has got the right to feel fucking happy and elated at the moment. They have, and I don't want to piss in anyone's chips or anything like that. But I can understand people that really don't enjoy that brand of football. But I think next season.
But you've said it a million times. We've all said it a million times.
I know.
We played shit in that final. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
And Declan Rice admitted in one of his interviews, I see, that he had a terrible game, and he wasn't the only one. But the thing is that, like you've said, if we would have played like that and lost, I could understand the anger being so early on, right? But we shit-assed it to some extent, and I hate that phrase because we wasn't great. I mean, I think they dominated our midfield massively. I think they was very good in midfield, and I think that Amrabat could be someone that we could look to go after. If I'm honest with you, and I like him in the World Cup as well. But you know, let's bloody, you know, let's let it settle. Ipdex is back at me. I don't care what you say, John. I don't want to shut. Nor do I.
No. Ipdex, none of us do, mate. John don't. He doesn't. None of us. Look, listen. We'll talk about next season on another show. We're going to, obviously, after this show, we're moving on to next season.
Yeah.
And we don't know how it's going to go, but if it follows a trend, then we do know. But I think what we've got to do now, if this is the case, if this is what it is, we're just going to have to ride it, see how it goes, and then react to it as it happens. I mean, it might.
I can't believe I'm older than Gareth.
I'm 53. I'm 53, going on 54.
But do you know what I will say as well, though? I have completely and utterly that trophy, the competition, right now. I think it's a brilliant.
Please don't say what I think you're going to say.
I think it's a brilliant competition now. And
I do.
And the reason that I think that, and I think this is because all of the other trophies, even our domestic competitions, are all dominated by a close knit. Apart from the odd fucking occasion, they're dominated by the big teams. So only the big teams are guaranteed success. Yet you've got so many clubs like us that are starved of success. Yeah. You know, Leicester, when they won the league and stuff like that,
to some extent.
Yeah, but there's loads of us. There's loads of clubs like that out there. You know, you've got Aston Villa in Europe next year now as well. And I think it's just going to give so many clubs and fan bases the opportunity to go out there and fucking just have a realistic chance of winning something. And
Villa are buzzing over that as well. You know, just their celebrations. I mean, it's a proper trophy.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to call you out, Nick, but I will pick up on that because earlier on you called it a made-up competition.
It is a made-up competition.
Well, all competitions are fucking made up.
Yeah, no, but I wasn't saying that as a bad thing. They're all made up. The Champions League's made up. There's only one champion out of four that go through to that competition.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's not the Champions League anymore. So what I'm saying is, but I do honestly, and I think whenever you see a British team, because it ain't ever going to be fucking Liverpool or even because you saw Tottenham were too good for it. They I bet they wish they didn't after they saw us.
No,
their fan bases are starved of a trophy as well. So
go on. Sorry, go on.
No. But I just think for the fans, that's a competition for the fans. And I think when you see teams like us, like Villa, you know, maybe like Brighton, like some of these other teams, you're going to see it's special for all the fans that type of competition. It's accessible. Whereas winning the Premier League isn't realistic. We're not going to win the fucking Premier League. Even winning domestic cups feels almost impossible nowadays.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
it does. So
I think you know the whole thing has been designed to. I mean, the word they used I think was inclusivity, and what I think they mean is giving others teams opportunities to win.
Exactly what it's done. It's what it's done.
Yeah.
And it can springboard a club as well because if we
look at Roma.
Yeah, it can springboard you. It gives you that you're in the Europa League next year. You know, you improve your coefficient rating. You get a bit of money from it as well. It increases your reach. You know, because obviously you get a bit of exposure because you're playing in Europe. It can springboard the same. I think it's a fantastic competition. I do. I think it's really good now.
And I think, like we expected, when it got to the knockout stages, I mean, yes, the Europa League was much far superior in terms of Lyon, Sevilla. You know, they were proper teams, weren't they? Proper. I mean, Sevilla, they virtually own the Europa League. They've just won it again for the umpteenth time, haven't they? And we were the first English team to beat them in the Europa League. You know that?
Yeah.
That is amazing, right? So it just goes to show, though, apart from Liverpool, who are going to be obviously clear favourites. I hate that they're in it.
Brighton.
Right, and Brighton are in it as well, yeah. But this is going to be their first experience of Europe. They ain't going to find it easy, right? They've got to get through the group. They're not going to be seeded. They can't get us, and they're not going to be seeded, right? So they're going into it. They're going into it in the same state that we went into it the first time. But listen to this, right? Yeah. I didn't know, but this is true. That was actually our third European trophy. Now I know we won the Inter 2 Bob in '99, but I didn't realise it counted as a UEFA trophy. It does, and so officially we've won 3 Cup Winners' Cup in '65, Conference League, and the Intertoto Cup in '99, and that's one more than Arsenal, who have won a Cup Winners' Cup and a Fairs Cup, and the same as Spurs, who have won a Cup Winners' Cup and 2 UEFA Cups. You can say theirs is a bit better.
Just to bring the tone down a little bit more, I've read this as well, but it's in the chat.
Yeah,
Rice to Arsenal is basically done, according to Jacob Steinberg. I saw it from Fabrizio Romano earlier. Steinberg has updated, so it has all been true all along the deal. Because apparently it's.
Listen, I've got a lot to say on Rice, and I think I've been a little bit unfair time to time when I've mentioned Rice this season. And
I think, into Arsenal though, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
Well, look, I don't agree with it from his.
For him.
Listen, I don't agree with it from his perspective because as long as we get the right price, that's all that matters. But the way he's conducted himself in the last few years has been nothing short of incredible, really. He's never once sold us down the river. Yes, he's slipped up a couple of times in not ruling stuff out, but you know, you've got to say the way he conducted himself in the interviews after the game the other night. No matter who asked him about his future, he just put it to bed straight away. He's clearly not a money motivated individual. He's given us, you know, more than 110%. And I think the most important thing that I'm going to say is, I think, you know, he's now been adopted by us, and no matter where he goes and what he does, he's always going to have that relationship with West Ham fans, right?
Oh, no.
And he'll probably be doing an Andy Carroll and a Ginge and a Marlon Airwood and a whatever else in a few years' time, and popping up in our away crowd. That's the kind of relationship he's got, right?
Yeah, the difference is that for me,
I think it's a silly move.
No. Let's get this right. He's got the move has to tick boxes for the player, right?
Yeah.
So we can say he should go City, he should go Liverpool, he should go Newcastle, maybe, right? But he might want to stay in London, and I know these places ain't a million miles away.
Yeah, then stay at West Ham, John.
What?
Stay at West Ham then.
I get that, but he ain't gonna. You've said yourself, Sullivan came out in an interview less than 12 hours after we won the trophy because Sullivan wants a bidding war, right? Hang on a minute. Sullivan can try and throw him under the bus as much as he can, right? But
it doesn't look like he has thrown him under the bus, though, John, does it? Because it looks like it was all factual.
It does a little bit because he didn't have to say a word, Nick. So he didn't have to come out and say, we offered him X amount. He said, no, you can't keep a player here who don't want to be here. Well, let me tell you something, Sullivan, right? For a player that doesn't want to be at a club for the last year, 18 months, or whatever it may be, he didn't fucking perform like that. So there was no reason to even bring that up because you're undermining him. I'm sorry, you're undermining that player who's
it was more. I was more angry for him pissing on the fans' chips who were celebrating the following day.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever, Nick. It's timing.
That's what I was angry with.
I thought that was awful. I thought it was awful.
Yeah,
that's what I was angry with.
Yeah.
I can't think. For me personally, I love Rice.
Yeah.
But you know how I feel about Arsenal. That is my worst option, as selfish for me.
Yeah.
My worst option because I'm not going to.
I'm not going to take any interest in his career. I don't. Frankly, if he goes to Arsenal,
I can't find anything in my mind as a justification for him to go to Arsenal. What to participate in the Champions League? They're never going to fucking win it. They're not. They're never going to get there. They had their chance to almost win the league this year. They bottled it. They're never going to get as close as that again.
I don't think they will. I agree with you.
What's he done it for? The odd domestic cup?
But Nick, this is what players dream of. For some reason, they dream of participating in the Champions League, right?
Participating.
Arsenal have participated 19 times and never won it.
Yeah, interesting that.
Yeah,
and we know how much pleasure their fan base used to take in finishing fourth. Just to literally sneak into the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I do make you right, Nick. But I think
Celtic participate in the Champions League.
No, come on, but that's a different element.
But they do, though, don't they? Let's face it.
Okay, but let's. I think French Luke Bailey said it a few times, and he's very true. When a lot of players say, I want to challenge for trophies, I want to, I think they mean I want to play in the Champions League. I think that is what they mean, and I think that he wants to stay down south. He wants to stay in London, and Arsenal's the only club that are in the Champions League. And I think it's the only one that he can see.
Mate, but we're oh, mate, I don't. I mean, look, listen.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
John, listen. What? Don't get me wrong. And people are going to disagree with me on this, right? But don't get me wrong. I honestly think if we would have shown some, if he's gone to Arsenal, I honestly think if we'd have shown some fucking ambition, and we'd have gone out, would have built on this success, would have done the right thing, shown some ambition, gone out and got a better manager, a higher profile manager, and supported him, then I think we might have stayed. But sticking with David Moyes,
so who is ultimately to blame? So who is ultimately to blame?
It's Sullivan,
the man, the gimp, Mr. Gimp at the top.
It's Sullivan.
And it will always be the same because if you get a world-class player, we ain't going to keep him for very long because we have owners that are unambitious. Now you could say, but he's just won a European trophy, Sullivan. But it wasn't through much doing of himself. That's what I would say.
No. Look, listen. This was nothing to do, and people keep on saying. And look, this is. I am going to say this now, and this isn't being disingenuous about the cup. Well, I'm in this context. I am. there's a lot of people out there now. There's bald lovers coming out there at the moment saying this is next level. They've taken this to the next level. No.
I heard that today, actually.
This competition wasn't even around when we were at Upton Park. This was, we would have had a chance to have win this thing when we were at Upton Park. We could have. We've won stuff at Upton Park before.
They're saying Europe 3 seasons in a row is next level. That's what they're saying.
And do you know what? Fighting in a relegation battle for 36 games out of 38 and winning the cup that we were favourites to win. Let's face it, that is not next level. It's not. It's a good achievement that we've won the cup. But Sullivan, you fucking stumbled on this, mate. Don't try and make out that he's done this by some design. He went back cap in hand to David Moyes. No one, not even David Moyes, could believe that this was going to go as well as it's gone for Moyes at this time. And a lot of that is down to the bloke that we're talking about who's going because Declan Rice has carried this fucking team.
Well,
John, he has.
No.
Would we have had anywhere near the success?
No. He's been our best player for years. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But don't take it away from players like when we had Dawson.
No, I'm not.
Owen. There's been other players. But what I'm saying is, do you blame Rice? Do you blame Rice, really? Do you blame Rice?
I don't blame. No, I can't because they've decided to stand still.
Yeah, to some extent, I agree.
They've decided to stand still. So no, I can't blame him. No.
Talking of Dawson, right? I know we were switching subjects, but he gets a medal, surely, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he must have. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
as did Harrison Ashby because he played 20 minutes.
Yeah, Ivan. Tony, the bloke who's serving a ban at the moment, he's got plenty of interview time and said, who's the hardest bloke you played against? And he called out Craig Dawson. He said, Dawson, when he was at West Ham, centre backs like that are scary. They would just put their head in anywhere. I remember one time he went up for a header with someone and he went to the floor. So I went over to see if he was okay, and his nose was bent to the side. I was like, bro, you okay? Your nose is finished. And he's like, nah, I'm all right. That's from the last game.
Yeah.
Right. And he went on to say, he said Zuma as well. He's so big and aggressive, he just wants to smash you.
What about this from Glenn? Is Sullivan? Yeah. What about Glenn saying, is Sullivan faulting Rice that?
What's that? Sorry, mate.
Glenn's basically asking, do we think Sullivan?
No. I think there's something to be said about this as well. And do you know something? You know, I'm one for conspiracy theories. He came out the following fucking day after the trophy. He's literally put him on sale, and in doing so said it's because he wants to go. You can't keep a player that don't want to be here. And then do you know what he's done? He's then come out a few days later, and if what we were led to believe is true before, which was that this was David Moyes' last hurrah, and everyone was rallying up to get behind him. And that's what this all was. And then they've come out and said, no, we're going to stick with him. We're going to stick with him now next season. Now, it's no surprise. So it could be by Sullivan's design. Maybe he does he's not going to risk letting him go for nothing. And do you know something? I think that's absolutely bollocks, because I think Declan Rice, I would take it. I put a poll on Twitter and the majority of people agreed. Would you keep Declan Rice for 2 more years? If he wanted to stay, let him run his contract down and leave for free. That would have been 8 years service. 8 years service from a world-class player, right? Which would have effectively, if we let him go for nothing, would have cost us 100 million. A fucking bargain, as far as I'm concerned. Right. And then he goes and he gets his payday. Why not just do that? Everyone's a winner. He's 26 years old then. He can go and get a massive deal that he's earned a fucking huge deal, because he hasn't been greedy to us. Just why couldn't he do that? But it looks like Sullivan's hell bent on getting his grubby little fucking mitts on that money.
Listen, we're not going to move anywhere. We're not going to change the way we are until Sullivan and that regime eventually moves off. Next level for me, honestly, when I asked this question on our little WhatsApp group the other day, didn't I? And at the time I was on the fence. I was thinking, yeah, this surely is next level. And I was thinking 3 times in Europe and winning a trophy. But then I thought, you can't say it's next level if you are fighting a relegation battle. You can't, can you?
No,
no. You could say it's a next level achievement to win a trophy. Yeah,
it's a good achievement. Of course,
it's an achievement.
It's a once in a lifetime. Because if you go past,
why is it? Why have we got to attach next level to it?
No, we don't. And then
hang on. I will say one thing. It depends how you look at it. It's next level for our fan base in terms of seeing a trophy, Nick. Let's be honest, it's next level because we never thought we'd see it. I'm not saying it takes the team or the club to the next level because we've been in the Europa League before. So in effect, we're going back up to the level we was at last year when we got to the semi-final. So in retrospect, we've not gone up a level, I suppose, if you look at it like that.
I'm just looking forward to the chance of he left because you're shit. He left because you're shit.
Yeah, and look, who cares, right? Who cares about what Arsenal's sing? Who cares what Arsenal's sing? They nick all our fucking songs anyway. They haven't got a clue, have they? So who cares what they say? They were singing songs about insulting songs about the ground. Yeah, because they know it bothers people. Who cares? He would have gone. You know, he's gone. He hasn't gone because we're a little club. He's gone because Arsenal are going to pay 100 fucking million for him. Well, right, by the sound of it. I hope that's not the total price of the deal, including extras. I hope that is a lot of cash up front, because it is going to be difficult to beat. But I've got to be honest. I agree with you. I think he's wasting his career going to Arsenal. It's wasting his career. He could aim much, much higher than Arsenal.
He obviously isn't. He isn't that ambitious. It's more important to him to stay close to his family. If he was ambitious, he'd want to go somewhere and guarantee winning trophies and winning.
We don't know what other clubs have come in for him yet, though.
It's obviously more important for him to stay close to home than anything else.
What's wrong with that, though? What's wrong with that?
But he's at home at the moment, and there ain't that fucking much further above us, Arsenal.
No, but look, Chris, with all due respect, Chris is saying it's an awful move. Sullivan looks like he was right all along. When we start agreeing with Sullivan, then I'm sorry. I can't.
There is a hypothesis I heard today about the director of football, because Nick said that the director of football is not being entertained. Apparently, it still is, right? Now,
it's not. It's a head hypothesis. Scout. It's changed. It's
no. There is a hypothesis that a proper director of football will be engaged, but he will not go above Moyes, because Moyes will be allowed to serve his last season and the director of football. That's probably the role that he'll play until Moyes goes, which will be next summer.
So why? This is a...
No, I know. I agree with you now. Thinking about it like this, right? If he's literally only going to serve another year,
opportunity next season is what's bothering me. Can't we just build on something?
This is where it's frustrating where the theory falls down.
Sullivan doesn't obviously want to pay him out. It must be something. It's got to be financial, no?
Well, it can't be just that, because this is where the theory falls down, isn't it? Because it's just you could say that. You could say that the director of football is going to go in there and he's going to be the chief scout, or he's not going to be a proper director of football. But that would be on the under. But so really, you're going to buy David Moyes players, even though David Moyes is only going to be here for another year, and that's where it falls down to me. Unless they're planning on not investing very much.
But this is a thing. Just Gary, just to go back to that. Sorry to interrupt. But this is a thing, right? So we know, just talking about this, we know that the reason that we embarked on this rebuild this season was because 6 months prior, his style of football wasn't working. It weren't. He came out, he admitted that himself. He said, I've been found out. We can't play counter-attack anymore because teams have sussed us out. We've got to learn to play a different style of football. Because that's not working. So that's what they did. They went out, they got the players to facilitate that. He couldn't deliver the style. He tried, he flogged a dead horse for so long, and then he reverted back to that style to get enough points to get us over the line to save us. And that style worked in the final as well, because we were suited to the opposition, Fiorentina. We would have played that way against anyone, irrespective of who we was playing. And what I don't understand is, what do you do now? We know there's another big rebuild coming up. So do you do the same thing again and carry on working towards the project that he started last season? Or do you go, do you know what? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to stick with Moyes ball, because that is what it is. You know, the way that he plays, we're going to stick with that and buy him players for that system. That's what we're going to do. What do you think they're going to do?
I think, if I'm honest with you, Nick, because of his lack of flexibility, you're going to have to buy players that suit the way he plays.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. If they're going to keep him,
yeah, that you can't. I mean, to be honest with you, though, when you think about the players that we brought in the summer, some of them did take time to establish themselves. But let's be honest, most of them now, apart from Cornet, who's had a lot of injuries, but the majority every other player now has pretty much established themselves and become an important part of the team and/or squad. So, you know, I'm not. None of them signings have been dud signings thus far for me. Right? I know Scamacca's got the issues, injuries again, but you know. Look at Scamacca's
as good as gone. I saw stories on it today. Another one.
I'm not having that. I can't see that.
Declan
Well,
Rice was cuddling David Moyes at the end of the game. He's gone.
Hang on a minute. No. Skamaka didn't even have to be at the final. Why would he go to the final if he hates the club and being
I'm
around
not
it
saying
that
he
much?
hates the club. I'm not saying he hates the club. It's all good for his profile to be part of a
good for
final
his
and everything because he
profile.
played his part in it. Of course it is. He played his part in it. He
He
scored
did.
goals in the
He
earlier
scored some
rounds.
goals.
It's
So,
the Golden Ducks.
we're looking like honestly, I think we're going to lose Skamaka. I think we're going to lose Antonio. Is a dead cert. He's out the door. Surely he's pushing for a move. Rice will be gone. Lanzini will surely be gone. Vlasic will be gone. We won't miss him.
So
He was
Moyes
already
has
gone.
got to go out and try and find a
Ogbonna.
striker.
Ogbonna will probably go, and Skamaka
No, they're going to give up
will probably
Bonner
go.
another year, I reckon. But
You reckon?
just let me just interrupt because I've had a text message from a friend of mine. He's a taxi driver. He's a big West Ham fan, and his family are big West Ham fans. And he often sends me messages, and I forget or I don't see them. But he's asked me to ask you this, Nick. I'm guessing he means please tell your co-host. He probably means Nick because he disagrees with you a lot, Nick. So this is from my mate Billy. He says,
I think they own the fucking road, Dave. Billy thinks he owns the road.
Please tell your co-host and Ipdex that this shit football has given us our best 3 seasons in 53 years. Now,
Damn right.
let me just say something. I'm not. Let's play devil's advocate here, Nick.
Oh, mate.
Not just, no, hang on. Listen, let me finish. I'm not agreeing. Let's just
I don't even. Yeah, well, tell me what you think about that comment first.
I think we've had some great nights. We've had some fantastic memories. Even before winning the trophy on Wednesday night, we've had some great nights in Europe, and we've had some great times in the league. But I can't say that it's been the best 3 footballing seasons. No, I would disagree with that.
Is that the only way? Is that the only way? The only way we could have won anything was for having David Moyes and playing that style of football.
No, of course not. But what I'm saying is this is the other side. Billy is a massive West Ham fan. We can't dismiss his opinion, right? So there's a lot of fans.
I can disagree with it, though.
Yeah, you can disagree with it. Of course you can.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fans out there that feel like that. And who am I to disagree with them or tell them they're wrong?
You can't disagree.
I'll put it another way.
I can disagree, but I can't tell them that they're wrong.
No. Look. Opinions are opinions.
The mindset of a lot of West Ham fans.
Look, and I get it. I put a poll out earlier on. So as we know, I worded it in such a way where I didn't try and affect it, and that was with: Are you happy with David Moyes? What is it with the decision of David Moyes? Blah blah blah. Are you happy that he's staying, pissed off, or not bothered? And it was pretty split. But there's more erring on the side of not bothered. There's people back on the fence again, and those are people that and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. They're people that are not bothered either way, and that's where most people sit. I think
they're the people that would have been terrified by the thought of being relegated, and they would have been really angry about it a few weeks ago. Now, I would say rather than the best 3 seasons ever, because it isn't, but it is the best. It is 3 really high achieving seasons in terms of what we left the season with.
History.
We got 6th, we got 7th, we got a cup. Right, that is a great ending. But you know very well that one in the middle, that 7th, that could have been a lot better. Right, but then we wouldn't have got the cup probably had we qualified for a great tournament.
There's a lot of ifs and buts, but what I would like to ask the fans, like my mate, like Billy there, the taxi driver there, and there's other fans in the chat. If you believe that the last 3 years have been so great, do you think the football's been great, or are you aware that the football in the main has been poor?
Or do you care? Do you care about the quality of football?
Yeah. Do you care about the quality of football?
I'll tell you what. I'll put. Someone's asked me to put a poll in the chat. I'll put a poll in the chat for you all. What's that?
Do you have to be entertained? Do you have to enjoy the football you watch? I mean, me personally,
for me, I do.
Up until half time in that Arsenal game,
point, doesn't it? It comes
up until we went 2-0 down at home to Arsenal. Up until that point, I wasn't even watching the game because it looked like we were going to get absolutely fucking dumped again. We weren't participating. And there was so many games like that this year, wasn't there, John, over there, where you just think, this is boring. This is so dull. And I've got to say, certain points in this season, I did not look forward to going to football.
And Gary, it's that makes us feel probably so downbeat on that stadium because it kills the atmosphere.
Well, sort of. You wouldn't get a good atmosphere in Upton Park with football like that, would you? I mean, it was appalling.
But when it's quiet over there, it's fucking quiet, isn't it?
It is. It's a big game. It's a big game stadium. That one.
Yeah.
It or not, it is like where you should play finals.
See, look, I mean, like Richard Stevens here is a bit like my mate Billy. Best case scenario: Moyes stays, we just about stay up, and we win the Europa League. Chris Lockwood says, I'm glad Moyes has got us a trophy and proven a few wrong, but I would still like him to leave. That's where I am. That's where I am.
Yeah, same here.
That's where I am.
That's where I am.
Listen, after that, I just want to clarify something, all right? I was ferociously Moyes out, aggressively Moyes out before that final. But you would have to have a heart of stone to not have developed a little bit of a soft spot for him as a person after that. When you saw the way he celebrated, he didn't even know how to celebrate. It was all fucking limbs. He just lost it. He was running everywhere. It looked like it meant the world to him. He's had a lot of disappointment in his career. I don't agree with hardly anything that he says or anything that he does. But he's human. He does care. And to be quite honest, look, he did play a part in delivering probably the best moment I've ever had in football. So will I have a soft spot for him for that? Yes, I will. Yeah. Will that come even close to changing my opinion of whether I want him to manage a club? No, it fucking won't. I hate his style of football. I'll tell you what I do detest is his style of football, and that's the most important thing. But will I always be grateful for that? Now, yes. But that doesn't mean that he should stay. It doesn't mean he should stay because it's wrong for him to stay. We've all basically just agreed that it's wrong.
I think that Sullivan is famous. I mean, we always end up firing managers, don't we? They never kind of just leave.
Does.
Yeah, we have to let them fail. They've got to.
We have to let them fail. But then again, I think every club does that, don't they?
Not many clubs sack their manager on a high, Nick. This is what I'm trying to say to you. Most managers go when there's a problem, Nick.
Mate. But the thing's what I'm saying to you is that wasn't the cup win was a high on top of the worst 18 months of football that collectively for a long fucking time, a long time. That was worse than Sam Allardyce football. It was worse than anything that we were watching last season. It was awful.
West Ham on top 11 says, I would rather lose but play well than get a scrappy win.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Not in a final, no.
All out of Bubblegum says, if it ain't entertaining, what's the point?
I understand the point. There is an exception to the rule of what was just said, right? If you turn up and West Ham play and really go for a game, play really well, and unfortunately lose out by the odd goal or something like that, you can walk away from that feeling quite satisfied. Whereas if they go into a game and just sit back and play defensive, similar to what we've been doing, and you get fucked, and you lose, then you walk away from that fuming.
This is on Rice going to Arsenal. This is a good point from John Murdoch. Would Arsenal have won the league if they had Deck?
No, not a chance.
They need a striker. They need a prolific striker.
Deck is a great player for us, right? It is head and shoulders above anything we've got. I don't think he's going to be head and shoulders above everything Arsenal have got.
No, he won't be. He's got fucking, what do you call it in front of him? Who's the lad in front of him?
He's got to take it up another level.
Nah, they've got him and all. So
he's now got to take it.
And Rice, wouldn't it? That's what they reckon.
He's now got to take it up another level. He's not going to play the same way as he did with West Ham. He's not going to be, again, what someone said recently, he plays two roles. He kind of does, doesn't he? He's not going to be doing that, is he? He's not going to be getting hold of the ball and rampaging forward for Arsenal, is he?
I'm going to be interested to see if this vote correlates with the ones, because I'm going to ask, are you happy or sad that David Moyes is staying, basically? That's what I'm going to ask next. But I've said, do you care about being entertained at football? 91% of people have said yes. 9% have said no. I want to see if the same applies to the vote that I do next, because if it is around about 9 or 10%, then that means that we have a section of the fans that don't care about the football. That's right. There are people like that, and I think they're the ones. And I got to be honest, there ain't been many, but there have been a few out there saying, "I told you so" about Moyes. Well, told me what exactly?
I mean, really.
Are you blind? Have you not been watching the last 18 months?
Yeah, I know. But that's the way it's going to be. But anyway, look, we are going to go into next season with Moyes. Rice is going to go. Antonio's going to go. Probably a few others will go as well. But one who ain't going to go and has got no interest in going at the moment is Jared Bowen, right? And there was an interview after the game that he gave when he basically just said how much he loves West Ham. I'm sure it's a fair bit to do with the in-laws as well. But he was saying, I'm just trying to find the bloody. I've got a note on it. Yeah, I mean, look. First of all, on Bowen, he showed he's a sort of special breed of player, right? He shows he's got the nerve. He's the big game player, you know. And I think for that reason, you got to look at, you know, if he can handle that pressure to be so calm. And when you listen to what he said about that goal, because my mind would have been fucking hell, don't miss. His mind was actually really logical, and he was thinking that keeper's come out too quickly.
Gary, can I give you my prediction for next season?
Yeah.
My prediction.
Can I just finish what I'm saying?
No, but Jared Bowen is our next striker.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe. Right. But what he did was in that moment, he had and this is where strikers, the game slows down for them, right? Good strikers, excellent strikers. That's why they can operate in those small spaces and do things really quickly. He thought that keeper's come out too quickly. If I can clip it over him, he ain't gonna get enough on it to save it. And to have that kind of clarity of thought when you're in that situation with the pressure of the world on your shoulders, shows what a special player he is. Surely he needs to get another go at England, doesn't he? But his post-match interview, love for West Ham. He never believed in his wildest dreams he'd be where he is, and he's addicted to the club. He said, "Yeah." So we need to sign him. We can't let what's happened to Deck happen to him.
And also, he daren't leave because Danny Dyer will fuck him up.
Can I also say, look, listen, I was going to do a show about this after the final, but basically the situation that we've got, and this is why Rice is being moved on, right? As we know, Declan Rice has this extension clause in his contract. We know we're not automatic. It's an extension clause that we can activate, that we've seen ourselves activate an awful lot. Now Declan Rice's dad, and we know this for a fact, has basically told the club, that's not legally binding. You can't activate that. There's been a back and forth for years about this, to the point where they said you can't enforce it. You can't enforce that clause. Yeah. And apparently there's been cases where, because it's one-sided, basically what it is, it's to secure the club. So you have 4. Why we do 4 years plus 1 and just don't give them a 5-year fucking contract? I don't know. But so it's 4 years plus 1 if we feel like extending it. That's what it is. But basically, the Declan Rice cap. So in that case, Declan Rice does only have 1 year left on that basis. Now, the worrying thing is, if that's come out, and if other players in the club that are disgruntled may feel the same, that they want to move on. You've got Jared Bowen. I don't think Jared Bowen would do that because of his family, because of Danny Dyer. I don't think he would do that. But you've got Bowen. You've got I think Lanzini's one expires this year, doesn't it? But you've got Fornells. There's a number of players there at the moment. There's 4 or 5 players that could effectively be entering the last year of their contract, plus that extension clause, which apparently is fucking worthless if you choose to battle it legally.
If it's worthless, then once again, where does the buck stop? Because if something is worthless, why the fuck have the club got these clauses, or whatever you call them, in so many contracts? If that's true, mate, look, we know it's run like a shit show, and at the end of the day, I'm never going to hate Rice for wanting to go to Arsenal. I'm never going to hate on his old man for saying that ain't legally binding, because his dad has every right to look out for his son at the end of the day, right? It all stops at the club, mate. It all stops at the club.
No, I actually agree. I actually think it's a bollocks clause. I think if you want to give someone a 5-year contract, give them a 5-year fucking contract.
Yeah, I agree with you. It don't make sense. It's absolutely pointless.
I know.
Absolutely pointless.
I know.
John agrees with me. He says it would have been absolutely right for Moyes to go out on a high, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No, it would all be. Do you know what? How amazing would it be at this point? We'd all be celebrating, like we are anyway, celebrating the cup win, celebrating David Moyes. We would be like really.
I am still celebrating.
No, but I would be, and we would have so much enthusiasm for the next year. That we're going out there looking for a new manager, for a new start. It would be.
I'll still have.
It would, but it would be a different level.
Listen, right? Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would. You get excited by a new manager and everything else, right? But look, I renewed my season ticket a couple of weeks ago. I've even booked flights to Dublin and reserved a hotel for May the 22nd next year, right? Because that's what a mug I am. And no, well, you know what it is, John. You just buy the ticket every year and hope for the best, right? If something does happen, it's gonna be good. But there is a stat that whenever we've won a major cup, we have always got to a major final the following year.
You can literally drive to Dublin.
Well, it's a bit wet.
Water in the way,
Get a
Yeah.
ferry.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is a good point from Victor Fenn. Sorry, guys. Sullivan don't like to sack managers, but he tries to undermine them so they
Yeah, he
walk.
does. Yeah, that's right. Good point.
That's a good point. Well done, Vic. Love that point, mate.
Yeah.
There's another poll. Have you got the results of the other poll then?
Yeah, so that was 90%. Basically said they like being entertained out of about 150 votes. So there are 15 people that don't care about the football they're watching, basically.
I think
the thing is with your next poll, you've put, are you happy Moyes is staying? Just literally yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're ambivalent because you don't know how to feel?
Well, then you don't vote on it. So it's a no. It's a no sitting on the fence one.
It's part of our makeup, you know, the sort of fabled West Ham way and all that, and attractive football and all that, isn't it?
Craven Moorhead says, I bet we get Luton in the first game when the fixtures come out Thursday. They'll turn us over. Well, they can't because they've got to spend £8 million on their stadium and can't play any home games until it's done. So they might.
Oh, really?
They might have to play the first quite a few fixtures away from home.
That'd
Because
be
their stadium, you can't walk through someone's kitchen. You got to walk through someone's kitchen to get to the ground.
Thing is, I get this from Damien Diamico. I do get it, mate. And he's won us our first trophy in 43 years. I get it. I understand it. I'm grateful to him for that. That doesn't mean I want to carry on watching his football next season. It doesn't. Why can't we just? And for him now as well, because like I said, I was dead against John's kind of narrative of him wanting Moyes to do this for Moyes because to protect his legacy. I didn't give a fuck about his legacy, but now I kind of do. I do now. It would be nice for him. Now I feel like that as well. It would actually be nice for him. Because if he left now, he'd be a hero. But it looks like he ain't going to leave a hero. He's only going to leave when he's failed.
Every whether you're Moyes in or out, you're grateful for him winning that trophy for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the thing is now, for me, is that the voices of Moyes out will only get louder if we underperform when the season starts. What is that noise? I feel like I'm on Starship Enterprise.
Oh, has it come back again?
Yeah.
Gary's took us to a faraway land.
Hold on, I'll just turn it off. I'll turn it off. Gone. There you go.
You'll melt. Just leave it on.
I'll sit here and melt. No, I'll sit here and melt. It's all right. Let's open that door.
You do look. You've got a lovely shade of purple.
Let's open that door.
For me, Moyes must really trust in his ability because he knows that he's been walking on eggshells and even more so now. You know, that's what I don't sort of understand. People will say, well, where's he going to go? He won't get another bigger job than West Ham. Well, maybe not, but he'll still get a job, won't he?
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Look, it's up to him at the end of the day, but I wouldn't like to see our first trophy winning manager in 43 years get sacked 3 months into a season. That's what worries me.
Right, and there you go with the poll. So there's 128, 130 votes now. This is off the back of a European trophy win, and this is kind of, you know, everyone does. I'm sure everyone is grateful to him for it, but still, 83% of people, and they're not happy that he's staying. 83%. You know, we shouldn't.
Yeah, but that might be also. Look, we've got to take into account the people that watch us. A lot of the people that watch us might be Moyes out because we are to some extent.
No, we're not. We've got a complete balance in this group. I mean, Barney McGrew. He's not. He's just on here to disagree with me.
Who's Barney McGrew? Never heard of him. Sam Field says keep him for another year, and you'll still get 100 million for him, like Spurs will for Kane.
Yeah.
Not if the talk of this extension thing is true, because he could effectively leave on a free.
But you said you don't. Yeah, but you said you don't care if he leaves on a free in 2 years or 1 year.
No, I don't. I would let him walk on a free. I don't necessarily give a shit about us making money out of this Declan Rice deal. I don't care. I'd keep him for another year. I think he's given us so much. He's given us everything.
Do you know what's interesting though? If Sullivan is so determined to sell him and get the money back in, but he's only going to sell that. He's only going to use that money to buy players anyway. So why is he that concerned? Or is he?
Because no, yeah, I do. Because why? How do you think David Sullivan gets money out of the club, John? It's with transfer deals. He uses agents.
Or gives himself, or loans money to one of his other companies.
There's big agents fees, and basically what it is, obviously this can't be proven, but effectively, I imagine, you know, 5 million, 10 million agents fee, little bit probably comes back in the back door. No one can prove it, but that's basically why it's more beneficial to do that. So there will be a large chunk. I'm sure there is a lovely agents fee for this Declan Rice deal. I'm sure there is.
Of course.
So yeah. So it's the way it works. We know it is.
Tony Wilkins says Moyes in charge next season, and no Rice means one thing: relegation battle and out of Europa.
Yeah.
Early. Well, we had Rice this year. You could argue the other way. We had Rice this year and we're still in a relegation battle. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I go back to default with these sort of things because we talk about what will Sullivan's ambitions be for the season. I don't honestly think that Sullivan's ambitions for this season was to win a trophy. I think his ambition was to stay up in the Premier League. That was the trophy is a bonus, and the same the previous season. And the same the previous season as well. He didn't set out to qualify for Europe. It just didn't. His mind don't work like that.
No,
he wants to finish, in a comfortable position in the league preferably without a relegation battle. But as long as you stay up and stay on the gravy train, that's all that matters. And what worries me is that this season will develop into one of those disposable seasons this next season, where Moyes. You remember that last Allardyce season where he was just working down the clock until. It was time for him to go. I'm worried that that's going to be the Moyes season. So we'll stay up comfortably. It'll be grim. It'll be bleak, right? Nothing will happen. At the end of the season, we'll be selling Paqueta because he would have started to thrive even more by then. And then it'll be a new manager and a new era after that. So that's my big fear of the season. I don't think we'll get relegated, but it could be one of those grey seasons.
Yeah. No, I'm dreading it. Now I am. I'm not looking forward to it. Now.
No, I'm not dreading it. I'm looking forward to it. You never know. It's football, right? It's still a sport. It's still a sport. We're going to sign players. Harvey Barnes excites me, having a bit of pace, and someone who's actually.
We haven't got these players yet. There is one thing I'd like to say, and this is in support of David Moyes, because I rarely give him any credit. Okay. But what I will give him credit for isn't the style with which we won the cup or anything like that. But it was a way that, with all the toxicity around the fan base and around the club, particularly in the week leading up to it, and all of the speculation, he did manage to galvanise a team for that game. It seemed like everyone was together for that game.
Oh yeah, big time.
So he does deserve credit for that. And it weren't the best performance in the world, but he did do that, and that's kind of even with all the stuff with Antonio as well. And that's what I guarantee you, Antonio won't be here next year. Apparently, he got fined. He got fined 2 weeks' wages for that, maximum fine.
Yeah, I heard that.
Good. He deserves it.
It was a little bit bringing the club into disrepute to some extent, like misconduct.
Talking about bringing the club into disrepute, we've been investigated over the throwing of the glasses and the vape at the game, which is deserved as well, right? Because it was really fucking annoying the way they just wouldn't stop throwing them, just kept coming down. We were getting soaked. That's one of the worst things. I don't think it was dangerous throwing plastic glasses, but by the time it reached the pitch, because they were coming from right up the stand, by the time they reached the pitch, they kind of lost their pace anyway, and they'd emptied over the likes of me on the way down.
I mean, look, there's no place for that, and when blood's pouring down the geezer's head. Rival or not, it's not on, is it? It's not.
Yeah, someone said Nick's vape would kill a man. This fucking thing would. It weighs a ton. I'm joking.
Yeah,
if I threw that from height.
Well, it was a gash. He needed lots of stitches, didn't he? It was quite.
It was one of those little disposable ones, though. There's no weight in them at all.
Right. It wouldn't have done anything to Nick's head. Would have been
but it must have been. You wouldn't do that, but you wouldn't cut someone like that by throwing a lighter, for instance, would you? Like a clipper or anything. So it must have been.
What I'm saying is more, and this is a thing. Okay, this is why it's quite bad, because there is no way that was one shot, and it was first time lucky. We must have been raining down things onto that.
No, there wasn't. I honestly, I could see it right in front of him. Nick, it was a few feet in front of me.
So someone had an amazing aim then.
Well, I think they were.
They just keep throwing it, didn't they?
Yeah, I reckon there. From what I saw, there were a couple of coins, definitely, right, and then that big object. That was the only big object that come down. It wasn't big, but it was.
Wait a fucking minute. Sorry to interject. Old fucking David Trevitt here. Watch this wee business flip-flop. You begrudgingly caved in when stood alone as wanting Moyes to stay. You got a bad memory, bitch. Hang on a minute. He was on Facebook the other day going, "We've got to keep Moyes." So he is the biggest flip-flop in the world.
He actually was, wasn't he? Yeah,
he was. So he don't want to come on here giving it Larry Large. He phoned in on numerous times. He phoned in numerous times backing up Nick, going, "Yeah, I want want Moyes out, flip flop, Virgil talking shit, blah blah blah. But have you noticed as we've gone through the quarters, the semis, and the final, he's become particularly quiet because you know why? He's got his own set of David Moyes pajamas.
He has.
Fan base, yes. Bloody Trevitt.
Listen, do you think that just a few more words on the Conference League, right? I know we were expected to win it, but we weren't expected to go unbeaten and win it. Our opponents in the final lost 3 times in that tournament. This tournament started, our first game was August the 18th last year, and the final was June the 7th this year. That is like the longest competition ever, isn't it? You know, 15 games in that time, including the final, totally unbeaten. And I'll tell you what, I've mentioned this the other day in my video. In the Premier League, we got 43 yellows, 0 red cards throughout the season, which puts us top of the fair play league. In Europe, we only got 30 yellow cards and 0 reds. We only committed 141 fouls in the whole competition, right?
Oh, nice.
We have got in Europe and the Premier League this year, we've got is 1.37 yellow cards per game. We just did this through being absolutely, you know, the fairest team on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And
I've just asked in the chat. I've done another poll, John. I've said, "Is Virgil a flip flop? Yes or no?" I've said.
What are you getting me involved for? You know.
I'm just going off the back of what Dave Trevitt said.
Oh, let's talk more, mate. Trevitt. Have you just to talk about players possibly coming in? We've been linked with the Ajax Mexican player, CDM Edson Alvarez.
Top player.
If true,
very good player. That's going to be another £50 million player. He would be excellent next to Pac-Man in the middle.
Did you see today? I've seen in various places that we've obviously been linked with Harvey Barnes, but apparently to fund that deal, we could sell Ben Rama. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
John, you want 85 votes, 73% say you're a flip flop.
I don't give a fuck about these mugs. I'll ban them all. Who said it? Well, I prefer the 27% to say no. They're legends. Go on, Gal. Sorry.
I think Ben Rama, you know, let's not dress it up. He's a fantastic penalty taker. I love his penalties. There was no doubt he was going to score the other night, right? But he still does lack the end product. Let's not make out he doesn't. He still lacks the end product.
But why can't we have both, Gary? Why can't we have?
We can, and something that occurred to me when Nick mentioned Bowen earlier, when he rudely interrupted me. I thought, if you move Bowen across as a striker, why
you have
can't
to
you put
interrupt
Ben
you.
Rama?
You can't get fucking worded.
Shut up! Why can't you put Ben Rama on the right and then put Harvey Barnes on the left?
Yeah. 27%. Oh no, he's fucking mugging me off. And I've just realised.
27.
I thought he was on my side then, but I realised. Razor's back. Ain't seen Razor for a while. He's back. Here we go. We survived 18 months of crap. We won the Farmers Cup. Bar Fiorentina, I spelled that wrong.
Nah.
Being a decent side, and Sullivan wants him here for another year.
Right, Razor, have you heard the news that Cresswell's been given a 2-year extension on his contract as well?
2 years, 2 more years, 2 more years, just for Razor. 2 more. Razor blamed. I heard Razor stubbed his toe on the bed the other day when he got out, and he blamed Cresswell.
Yeah. Do you know what I will say? I saw this on Hammers chat earlier on, and I do remember it was a lovely moment. Shows the class of the man with Cresswell. The first person he did go over to at the final whistle was Emerson, the bloke who took his place in the final.
Yeah.
He went straight over to Emerson and cuddled him. He was crying his eyes out. And after he's got to get a what do you call it? Any 10 years next year, isn't it? He's got to get a testimonial next year.
I don't think Sullivan and that do testimonials no more. There's no profit in it for him.
Have to pay for it. Because it ain't part of the stadium deal. Yeah.
There's no chance of getting a testimonial anymore.
It'd be over Eddie Marshes, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Virgil, is it true your missus never wants to go out for dinner because you can never make your mind up? Classic. Why can't West Ham find good young talent without paying 20 million plus? Well, we know why. We've got shit scout network, I suppose, haven't we? Who knows? Yeah. There is some great talent out there. There's some great talent out there.
I like Harvey Barnes, though. I really do. I
like Harvey Barnes. I think he'd do well for us. But
got a bit of an injury problem, though. With him. He's got a lot of injuries.
It'd excite me. I would.
I like him. I like him. But we're talking like we've got him. He's going to be in high demand.
No, as Mark says in the chat here, he says, let me just do one, John. He says Harvey Barnes isn't a creative player; he's more of a Moyes player, directs and scores goals, like a young Jesse Lingard. You mean?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna
look.
John. Go on, John. I'm gonna ask you a question quickly. One minute. The
Go on then, mate. Go on.
striker, right? You're gonna look for a new striker. So we've already just decided. Antonio and Scamacca are gone, which leaves us with Danny Ings. If he is going to go out and look for his new main man, how difficult is it going to be for David Moyes to convince a striker to come and play for him? Even in light of Antonio's comments where it says if you're a striker in the system, you have to feed off scraps. If anybody does their homework on a David Moyes system and the way that he plays, how difficult is it going to be for David Moyes to get the striker that he wants?
Well, if you go by recent history, and I mean prior to Scamacca, Scamacca's probably not the norm in terms of Moyes striker types. If you look
as well.
No, did Moyes buy him?
No, he didn't, but it didn't work.
That's
for
what I'm
Haller
saying.
either, did it?
Okay, but what I'm saying is strikers that Moyes usually gets are not in the Scamacca mould, i.e. they're generally not going to be Italian internationals, right? So what I mean is the type of striker that he will convince will be a striker that is probably looking to prove himself in the Premier League, coming from a lower league or quite an unknown. So if he goes for the right type of striker that fits into the mould, then he'll be easy to convince. But he ain't going to be able to convince a top quality draw striker, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so.
What
is that? Really? Is that a joke? Aguero's just done his ACL.
Well, I'm looking at the news. I can't find it anywhere. But Claret and Hugh are pushing back on the Arsenal thing, saying no offer for Rice. That's from 8:06.
All right, okay. What do you reckon, Gary? Do you reckon he's going to struggle to find a striker that he wants?
Top name that we want.
It took him 18 months to find Scamacca, didn't it? So
it was the same as a player that he got rid of.
Exactly. So it depends how he wants to play, doesn't it?
Hugo's available. Nicky Smith says John, it took us 2 seasons to find Scamacca. Yeah.
I don't understand the brochure talk because he's not even back from his ACL injury yet.
No.
Yeah. Listen. Let's not go down the road of believing every fucking rumor we hear because we will be linked with Lukaku again.
Do you know we're going to get linked with, didn't you?
Lukaku.
No, Lingard.
Olivier Giroud.
It's going to be Lingard. Lingard's coming back next year.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I think he will.
Lingard is going to come back next year. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
He'll be here.
Yeah, look, I like that. I think it was at Genk, wasn't it? Was he played for Genk? That Gift Orban, someone like that.
I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
he was good. I liked him.
Someone like that for me would be saying, we're not going to get a world player, international striker, are we? We're not going to get that.
Was that the one he did the scissor kick or whatever it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good player. I mean, Smeagol said Jonathan David. I mean, you got no chance, mate.
No,
honestly, not for Moyes. No. It's never going to happen.
This guy's been linked a lot. The guy at Coventry City, I can never say.
Go on, say it, John.
Gio Keres.
I bet it's pronounced Coquerez or something.
Gokeres, that's it, Gokeres. I think he's the Swedish international, isn't he? But championship player. Obviously, Coventry missed out. Yeah. But he's not going to. This is the problem. I think West Ham fans need to realise that with Moyes in charge, we're not going to go out and get someone from Inter Milan or, it's probably going to be someone like from Championship. And that's what I mean. If Moyes approaches his type of striker, he'll very easily get them in because they are going to be strikers that are going to want to prove themselves in the Premier League. We're not going to go out and get ready-made strikers, in my opinion.
No, it's got to be Coquerez because I know that because whenever you see the 0 with the 2 dots above it, it's like cockatoo. It's a phallic symbol, isn't it? So I think it's always related to
it's German umlauts, isn't it, or something to do with that? John says Diaz from Blackburn is definitely worth a punt. Diaz has already agreed a contract somewhere in Spain. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yes, it went somewhere else, didn't it? Yeah.
He's agreed to join at the end of the season when his contract expires. A team in Spain, but I can't. It's gone out of my head who it is. Mark Alexander says, "Why don't we?"
I've seen this link. This link apparently, Mourinho.
He's at Roma, isn't he? He's at Roma.
Abraham has done his ACL. He did it a couple of days ago.
He's not. Okay. Yeah, well, we might get him then. We might get him.
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, the deal was being put together for him as an part exchange for Scamacca, and then that's all on ice now.
Here we go. Diaz is going to Villarreal. Thank you, Matthew Hossack.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. What about Martin Terrier from Rennes? Nah, he's a bit snappy, isn't he?
He's all right. We've been linked with him a few times as well. He's a decent player. He's not the youngest, though, is he? Not that it matters, really. He's only here for a season, isn't he? Lucas, thank you very much, mate. Very, very generous of you.
Well, it is generous, but just put, why the 99 all the time? Just put 15. Round it up.
It's the only option, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, is it? Oh, I don't give anyone any money. You know me.
You're a cab driver, aren't you?
Yeah. What's this?
No change, mate. No change.
Need someone who hasn't watched us.
Yeah, you do. That's the thing. It's going to be difficult for him. It is. Should we open the phone lines, take a few calls, see if anybody does want to phone us and talk to us?
Yeah.
All these muppets in the chat giving it large. I bet none of them called up. Oh, I can't phone up. Terrier also did his ACL. Fucking hell, there was a lot of that going around, isn't there?
Yeah. Right. Turn that off.
Terrier. Is that not Terrier?
Terrier. Hang on. Fucking dogs are barking.
I'm just looking at.
I haven't even. Gary's phoned up straight away. Hang on.
You are? Oh.
Hang on. Jesus, Gary, you're quick off the mark. Hello, Gary?
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. Dave, I'll have to call you back. Gary beat you to it. Hang on.
Right, I'm on timer. I'm on timer duty.
Right, okay. Right, go on. Start in now. Go on in, Gary. Let us know what you want to talk about, mate.
Hello, mate. Hello, Gary. Hello, John.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, mate. Yeah, it's brilliant. Brilliant week. I mean, a bit gutted. I didn't get to the pub with Nick on Wednesday. I had a bloody terrible tooth. I had to have the root canal Wednesday morning, so I wasn't in no Thursday.
I told him all about it, Gary. I told him all about it.
Terrible. Anyway, I'll get on to the game. People went on about the style of play on Wednesday night. Look, end of the day, it wasn't a great game. We didn't play that great, but we won. And when you get to a final, that's all that matters. I was at Cardiff in 2006, and we were the better team that day. Liverpool fans coming up to us and saying, you should have won that, and we lost it. So that's all that matters. You go to the final, you win it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're talking about the strikers just now. I think the striker for me that fits all the boxes is Broja at Chelsea. We were linked with him last season. They're going to let players go now. I think he's absolutely perfect. He runs.
He's not back from injury yet.
He's not even back. He's not even back from injury.
No, he's having an ACL, so it's going to be a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never know, you never know how these players are going to come back from an ACL.
No, but I'm saying we're looking at the type of striker, and he would be him or Abrahams. I mean, from the swap deal with Skamaka. You said that's not happening now?
Done his ACL. He's done his ACL a couple of days ago, Abrahams.
Yeah, but Gary, going back, I'll ask you the same question. Going on the recent trend of the strikers that have failed at the club and the way that they've struggled, and off the back of Antonio's comments, you've only got to watch us to see how that we play.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon are our chances of attracting the striker that David Moyes wants to come and play in this team? Because if you're a striker, you want to go somewhere where you can showcase your talent, be given chances to score goals because you get win bonuses, you get goal bonuses. You're going to want to go and do that to elevate your profile. Are you elevating your profile if you're Armando Broja at West Ham, or is it a massive risk of being another fucking flop in the Moyes system?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's difficult. I'm wondering with the RB Barnes thing coming, whether Moyes is going to go back to a counter-attacking style. Bowen one side, Barnes the other.
He's gone that way already.
So you do wonder which route he's going to take there, don't you? Really?
Well, he can't do anything else. So he's going to have to. He's going to have to go back to that.
The point is the type of player that Moyes will go for is not necessarily the type of player that we would like him to go for. So it'd be very easy for him to attract them.
But I'm actually. Oh, do you know something? I actually don't give a shit now about players, because I think he should. No, but he should just go out and get players that he wants, because there's no point with. Like I say, we got the Harlem Globetrotters last fucking summer, and it took 6 months before you even started seeing anything from them.
I think that's.
I just want to say.
Go on, Gal.
Sorry, I just want to say about the Declan Rice thing. I'm a bit torn with this. I agree with you. I think the only reason he got to Arsenal, he wanted to stay in London. That was the thing. So that ruled out most teams. I think Chelsea not in the Champions League next season, not in Europe. Arsenal's the only option. But I agree with you, Nick. I think he's. Listen, if he was going to win trophies, the only team he could go to, the guaranteed trophies, is Manchester City. That's it. No one else can guarantee. Arsenal are not going to win nothing next season. They're not going to win the league. They're not going to win the Champions League. So it's not going to happen. But I just wish. Do you think Sullivan has forced him out? Because I listened to Declan twice last week. Now, I don't know if I'm delusional or whether I'm looking at things that I want to see myself. I had 2 different interviews with him, Wednesday and Thursday, and he was talking about West Ham, and I'm thinking,
I don't think he's forced him out, because Sullivan couldn't force him to do anything. He couldn't even get him to sign a fucking massive pay raise for us. So there's no way he could force him out. He can put him up for sale. It's down to Declan Rice whether he agrees terms and he goes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is Declan didn't. Some of the things Declan said, he didn't have to say in them interviews. When he was asked about issues, he could have just said, well, let's wait and see. But he was about how much he loved the club.
Gary, but he does love the club. Yeah. Everything he said is true. Yeah. Everything he said is ultimately true, right? But at the end of the day, when you put on the spot like that, what he ain't going to say any negative things. He's not going to talk about his dislike of anything at the club because he doesn't want to bring it down on his way out, or not bring it down. But
no, I understand that.
Even if there is anything negative he wants to say, which I don't think there is, I believe every word he says. He does love the club.
Yeah. The thing is, John.
Yeah, go
on, carry on.
No,
go on, the thing is, Arsenal, right? They're not going to win the league the next season. I don't think they're going to get as close as this season. Champions League, they could well drop out of that and end up in the Europa League, right? Which we're in anyway. So next season, if they'd have stayed and we'd have built on this, we got to semi-final last year. We beat Seville. We're the best team to dominate the Europa League. We could have won that again next season. Had a right go at it, and then we're in the Champions League. So I would like to see him stay one more season. I agree with Nick, really.
Well, hang on. Just 1 minute. I'm going to interject. Mr. Macy just put a very good fucking point up in the comment, right? Arsenal know that Rice wants to go there. That's why they ain't putting the money up that Sullivan wants. They're going to drag this out until deadline day, which will affect our recruitment. And you know something? I think that will suit Sullivan as well. I do.
Yeah.
Of course
he won't move until fucking last knockings.
Like I said to you earlier, right? I'm worried that this is going to turn into that grey inbound season where, like Allardyce, because if you remember that last season at Allardyce where he just kind of operated the team, kept us up, never in danger of relegation, it was the dullest season on record. Everyone hated it, fucking hated it, but he was allowed to stay right until the end of the season. He had no money to spend that year. Right, it was just about I've got a manager. The manager's got enough players to do the job and stay up. Good enough for me. That was the attitude.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I heard the other day on another channel that apparently, the ex-employee who normally he come out. And apparently, the thing was Man City were going to put a bid in for him. They were offering a lot of money and Calvin Phillips.
Who, for X?
And I was
going to sign X.
That's what I heard yesterday. And because I'm just wondering whether the Champions League have won it now, whether now they can concentrate in it with Deck. Because that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? What do you reckon Deck could do if City did come in suddenly? No, and they bought Phillips and never really used him.
I've got a feeling. If he's willing to go to Arsenal, and he didn't even consider fucking Bayern Munich, who are a far bigger club than Arsenal. They've actually got a chance of winning the fucking Champions League. They have. If he's not that bothered, then it isn't the only thing he's worried about. He obviously wants to go to a slightly higher profile, more fashionable club, which he's making them look like by going there. They're more fashionable than West Ham. He's got more of a chance of winning something there, maybe. I don't know. But there's no guarantee. So he's gone there because it's a slightly higher profile, more sexy club.
This is true. Allardyce perversely had 31 points from the first 17 games that season. Yes, he did. But do you remember how bloody boring that season was? From that point on, because it just faded away, didn't it? Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, this is the thing, you see. Because Rice has come out and said he wants to stay in London, I wish because like you said just now, you've got a very good point. Arsenal know it. And so, if Arsenal didn't know that, they might be not. That's why they're dragging the heels. We need Man City or something to come in to start this bidding war off. Yeah. Because end of the day, I don't want to pay less than 100 million, and I think the club just say if we don't pay that, because there's a lot of Arsenal fans. You go on the fan TV. Not all Arsenal fans. There's a lot of them that don't rate Rice that highly.
There is going to be. Gary, there is going to be expectation on Rice for the first time in his career at club level, right? Because really he's been brought up on a, protected by a sea of love at West Ham.
He had a bit of pressure this year, Gary. He had a bit of pressure.
He had pressure this year, but there's always been leeway. Even when he had a bad game, no one ever got on his back, right? He's
never at risk. He's never at risk of losing his place.
He's been universally loved at West Ham, right? And you know that Arsenal, they're going to sign him. They'll probably make another signing or two as well, big name signings. Yeah. And then after that, they're going to expect something to happen. They're going to expect their fans, after coming second this year, they're going to expect to be challenging City next year, and it ain't going to happen. I mean, ain't going to happen.
I just wish he'd go back to fucking Chelsea, because I'd rather he went to Chelsea than Arsenal.
Yeah,
I would. I don't want him to go. No. Arsenal and Tottenham. Oh,
yeah.
What annoys me though is what we said before, though, lads. But this club will never really get, achieve much more until we get new owners in, because really, we've got the stadium we've got now. We left Upton Park. We're in a 62 and we've got the second biggest attendance in this country. We shouldn't be losing players like Declan Rice to Arsenal. I'm sorry, we shouldn't be happening.
We shouldn't.
This club, you see the size of the fan base. We should be keeping this club and building on it. This shouldn't be happening. Really, I'm really annoyed about this. I know some West Ham fans have got a different view on about it and think, oh well, we're not, Arsenal's bigger club.
I've argued against that all night long, because I don't think they are. I think you've only got to look at the celebrations. I think your club's as big as your fan base and everything else. If we had anywhere near the level of success that Arsenal had over the last 20 years, we'd fucking be far bigger than them.
As much as you can talk about the fan base, etc. At the end of the day, your club will only achieve success if the owners have ambition and foresight, and we don't have that. And that's it at the end of the day. That will always be the case. It's boring, but it's true.
I agree.
Listen,
this is your last point, Gary. You're over the 10 minutes.
One last thing. Yeah. Hey. I was going to say, this is what annoyed a lot of fans when we did leave Upton Park, because we've got promised champions. I know we've got European football, we have, but not Champions League, which they said. But it was, to go to the stadium, we just shouldn't be selling Rice. What I mean by that is, in theory, we shouldn't. The size of our club, we should be moving on and keeping these players. But I just think Rice has made the wrong move for Arsenal. I don't think it'll work out. I really don't. Could be wrong, but what do you think?
We shouldn't be selling him. Listen, we shouldn't be selling him, but we don't have a choice, really, do we? We don't have a choice. I think, this is where I'll protect Sullivan a little bit, because if you're running a business like this, you can't afford to lose that kind of money, right? So you do have to really seriously raise as much money as you can.
But also, Gary, the business is football, and Declan Rice is critical to the football that we play.
I know, and I get that, but really, do you expect Sullivan to just wash his hands with 100 million? Of course he's not.
Then we're just back to being the one player that we've actually gone up in value.
I think every single club on the planet, apart from maybe one or two, get forced to sell players. You know very well this is a stepping stone move for Declan Rice. This ain't Declan Rice's destination, his final destination.
Yeah, I agree.
This is a stepping stone. He'll do well and take himself up, prove himself in the Champions League for Arsenal. He probably knows they ain't going to win it, but he'll become a regular feature in the Champions League. Then he will get the mega bucks move somewhere abroad, probably Real Madrid or Man City or somewhere like that.
To go. Real Madrid or in this club, this country, Man City. Then at least if you want to win trophies, that would be the logical thing. But Arsenal, I just don't get it at all.
No,
Arsenal typically don't sell players that they don't want to sell, though.
And I as much as I've given him a lot of love tonight and everything else, and as much as I really want to take an interest in him going forward, I'm afraid he is sort of dead to me when he goes to Arsenal. I can't be. I ain't going to be following him. Until he moves somewhere else. You know what I mean? Until he moves somewhere else. Until he moves somewhere else.
No, I won't want him to win loads of trophies, because then
I'll still love him when he plays for. Yeah, I'll still love him when he plays for England and stuff like that. But for Arsenal, not interested.
No. All right.
Okay then, lads.
All right, lovely.
Well,
cheers for that, Gary.
Nice one,
Thanks, Gary.
Brilliant. Take care. See you, mate.
Gal, see you down the pub at the next final. 43 years.
Cheers, mate. See you later, Gary.
Bye. Right, hang on. Interesting, isn't it? Really, I don't know where he's going to go.
All right, hang on.
a lot
I'm
of
going to phone you all back. I've got three calls here. I'm going to call you back. Right, 1 minute.
there is still that link with Man United though. I saw today, and it was like West Ham could look to get McTominay or Fred in part exchange. And I know people in the chat are going to go nuts, but you know they're not.
Yeah.
Bad, are they? Let's be honest.
I'm just not going to take any interest in it when he goes to Arsenal. It's dead to me. Is a bit harsh. You're right. Whoever said it in the chat is a bit harsh.
Right,
but it's kind of how I feel. I'm not interested in him anymore when he goes to Arsenal. I'm not.
David Francis.
Who?
David Francis.
Never heard of him. Who does he play for?
There we go.
Right.
Hello, David. You all right?
Hello, Nick. Thanks for phoning me up.
That's all right, mate. No problem. No problem. What would you like to talk about, mate?
Well, just generally the game, Moyes a bit, Sullivan. I've got a few points regarding either game and Moyes and positive stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly positive stuff.
That's good.
So can I just? It'll be a short call, hopefully. So
go on, slip a little bit of negative in there for Nick.
Come on, you're all right. Go on.
Yeah. Go on, David. Slip a few negatives in there for Nick because he likes a bit of negativity. Yeah.
Feed the beast. Feed the beast.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling very emotional after the game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Gary is so lucky to have been there. I mean, I'm so jealous of him. It's amazing. But you know, I've been Moyes out for months, But to see, I actually felt quite emotional watching David Moyes dancing, you know, to the 500 miles song.
Yeah.
I'd walk a 500 miles, that one. It was dancing in the change room.
Yeah.
I actually liked him for that. I actually felt some emotion towards him.
Fucking proclaimers.
But I do. Hello?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, go on, David. Sorry.
John dicking around.
Carry on.
Sorry. But I do honestly believe that Mr. Sullivan is throwing Moyes under the bus because after this game, David Moyes would have left a legend.
Yes.
I would have, me, you, and all the Moyes out club would have forgotten about this whole last season. Who gives a shit about that?
Yeah.
I would look at it, right, crap season, but we were concentrating on winning that cup, and we did. That's how I would look at it. But now, Sullivan giving him another year, what's going to happen if this goes tits up and we get the same? Because do you guys honestly believe that Moyes is going to change his style next season?
No. I don't think he'll even. I don't think he'll even attempt to do it. I think he's finished the season a way that kind of got us over the line. He proved earlier on that season that he tried and failed to change his style. Well, apparently he tried to change it. I never saw it, but he tried to change the style. But yeah, I don't. Nick,
it was 20 games in a season is not acceptable.
No,
we only stayed up. We only stayed up with 2 or 3 games to go, and also we were very lucky that there were 3 worse teams than West Ham.
Yeah.
Next season we might be in a completely different. There might not be 3 worse teams than West Ham. So I do believe, and I think you'll agree, all us West Ham fans, if this goes tits up next season and we're back down near the bottom, we will all turn against Moyes again.
It will happen again.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We won't.
Yeah, it will happen. It will happen again.
It'll be the Ranieri situation. You know, look at Ranieri when he won the Premier League and then he was gone within 10, 15 games or whatever the following season. I mean, it is a results business. And as fantastic as that cup win was last week, and as emotional we've all been, I was in bits, right? We all were. I'm only just coming down off it now.
Very emotional,
yeah. I'm only just coming down off it now. It was just like the best feeling ever. I couldn't sleep. I watched every bit of, just can't describe how good it was. But time moves on, and then next season starts afresh. It's a blank page. It's a blank canvas, isn't it? You got to start, and you've got to deliver. And if you don't deliver, the anger builds.
Can I just remind you that last season, remember, we lost to Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle.
Yeah.
And to also, I'm very happy to win this cup. Yeah, I'm ecstatic. I'm very emotional. But let's be honest. If you look at the teams we played, Ghent, Larnaca, FCB, Silkeborg, all these small sides. So I do believe any team in the Premiership faced with those teams,
Premier League.
That's why West Ham were favourites.
Well, that's right. That's right.
I actually think in regards to the fan base, I think they'll be less patient this time around.
I
don't think
because it won't take long. It won't take long. If it doesn't go well, it won't take long. Somebody said there, look, Lewis in the chat said, Nick, mate, would you walk 500 miles for Moyes to get the sack? See, the thing is now, it sounds ugly. I wanted the club to do it the right way. I'm not saying I want him to brutally get the sack now and be thrown out of the club. What I would like him to if he won't leave of his own accord, they should remove him. But then what they should do is they should have said to him, look, you've done amazing. You go out, you tell the media that you've made this decision for you because it's right for you.
Yeah, definitely.
You've left us. That's what they should have done. You know, they should have let him go out with his head held high. It should have been a club decision. It probably would be very difficult for any manager, even though I think it's crazy that he stayed. It probably would be very difficult to walk away from because where's he going to go afterwards? You know, where's he going to go?
I do think there's another thing on this as well. I think Sullivan feels vindicated because everyone was putting pressure and demanding Moyes' head, right? And Sullivan refused to do it. He was never going to sack him. At the end of the season, it comes good for him, right? It comes good for him in that we beat Man U, we stay up relatively comfortably, and we win a trophy. So inside Sullivan's head now, he's thinking that he's like king of the world, right? He gets all the big decisions right. Conveniently forgetting that he's done that before and got us relegated. Yeah.
Did you see his fucking suit, Sullivan?
Yeah.
So next season, who should be our goalkeeper? There's only one choice.
Areola for me.
But will he?
He will be apparently.
I think he will now, and I think. And to be honest, if you was Fabianski after the, you'd probably be quite envious if you was Fabianski. You know, watching Areola.
Again, Fabianski was walking through the old town square over in Prague, and he was getting loads of adoration. And after the final whistle, he was joining the celebrations. He loved it. You know, he comes across as a really nice bloke. I think Areola. This is the agreement with Areola. I think he becomes #1 this season.
Well, we hope so. It needs to fucking happen, doesn't it? It needs to happen because I know a lot of people have called into question. A lot of people have called into question Areola's ability, but look, I think there's also a lot to be said. Him not playing a lot of games, not doing that, he's going to look a little bit ropey and stuff. His confidence will be affected. I think a run of games in the first team, being the first team goalkeeper, you'll see it. He'll have an understanding with the centre backs because that needs to develop. You know, you've got to get to know the defence in front of you. So I think he just needs to. Wherever he wants, whichever. What I want him to do this year, when he goes out and he buys players, all this transition bollocks. He tried that last season; it didn't work because we were crap at the start anyway. Yeah. When you go out and you buy your players, he will have a picture in his head about how he sees his best players. Just fucking play them, and let them get used to the Premier League that way. If it's crap at the start, it doesn't matter. Just play them and bear with it. None of this. They're not going to get used to the Premier League watching it from the fucking subs bench, are they?
No,
no,
they won't.
Antonio in his podcast, was it a couple of weeks ago? I actually respect him for what he said, and he said about a striker under David Moyes' system is fighting for scraps. Now I don't particularly like Antonio now because he's fixed past it, but I respect him because he's actually said something that's
right.
A nail on the head.
What he said is right, and what he said is right in the extent of you could take it two ways. If I was Skamaka, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I'm not that type of player because I've got more quality than you. I'd take it that way. But I think Nick was right, and Gary, they sort of pulled me up on it when we had our WhatsApp chat because I was quite. For me, it was the timing. But when I think about what he said, what is it you said, Gal? Passive aggressive?
It is passive aggressive.
It
is.
I think Antonio's made his bed now. He's got a line. I think he has to go, really.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and do you know something? Maybe, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd have fucking loved that. If it had come out any other time other than the week before the final and said that, I'd have loved it. It'd have been fine.
You'd have done a show on it, wouldn't you?
I'd have
You'd
done a show on
on
it, but the timing was shocking. Absolutely shocking.
It was. He's pushing for a move by doing that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, remember, he's 33. He's not going to move to anywhere big.
No,
it won't be a big move because the guy's 33.
Forest.
He's finished his career. His career's over. He's 33. You can see by the chances he missed last season that he's not particularly good anyhow. His career's over now, Antonio. He's 33.
Well, it's over in the Premier League, yeah. But you know.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So obviously he will sign for a championship team.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? Maybe Forest? Maybe Forest will be interested.
They've got enough bloody players, haven't they?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! They got Brendan Johnson, Chris Wood.
They need to reduce their fucking squad, don't they? Really?
Yeah.
Also, we've got we've got the young strikers. Obviously, we've got is it Mubama this time? So why isn't Moyes? He's our player. He should play him more or give him more time. We've got a striker there already, and he looks very good.
Yeah, he's been getting some
18
minutes, not many, but he's been getting some minutes. He's done all right. But we do want to see him come through next year. And
he could be the cup striker. You know, there's no reason why not. Like League Cup.
Can you trust David Moyes to do this? Because look at Sonny Perkins. You cannot. Sonny Perkins looks excellent. You can. He left only because Moyes was never going to play.
Yeah, but Dave, I was never overwhelmed with Sonny Perkins, mate. I'm not being horrible. What? Yeah. People had a big meltdown over Sonny Perkins. What's he done at Leeds? What has he done? He's hardly played.
Nothing.
And they've been fighting. You know, they've been in the shit for a long time. They've needed goals for a long time. Bamford ain't been scoring for ages. Sonny Perkins ain't played any. I think he scored one goal in a cup game. Yeah. But apart from that, he's done nothing.
Yeah. Of all those kids we lost, the one that really bothered me was Harrison Ashby because I think he'll turn into a good player. Yeah, so, David, that's it. Your time is up. Thank you for your call.
Thank you so much, and guys, just say one last thing. You really entertain a lot of us Hammer fans. Yeah, we love Claret and Booze.
Thank you very much.
Who's your favourite though?
Take care, lads. Take care.
See you
later. Am I your favourite? Oh, I'm your favourite. Cheers.
See you later.
I'm another favourite. Can't help it.
All right. Let's give Tony a call back. Dave Trevich just said another time, so he's obviously tucking himself into bed.
Yeah, he's scared because he's flip-flopped and I caught him out. That's what he's done. No, just caught him out on Facebook. Yeah, well done, Moisey.
Hello, is that Tony?
Yeah, it's mate. Tony the Tanker.
Tony the Tanker, how are you?
Yeah, I'm still in recovery, from my bypass surgery, but my heart dropped when I knew that prep was staying.
Oh, yeah. So, John, Virgil.
No. He's a good man, old Virgil. He's a good man. He's a good. I don't know where to start here, really, because I'm over the moon we won that trophy, but I knew when we won it, he was staying.
Yeah.
But I don't blame Moyes now. You know I can't stand the geezer and I want him gone. I blame Sullivan. And we could have kept Declan Rice the other season when we had a chance to get into the Champions League with a little bit of investment, with a few players, and we could have got in the Champions League, and maybe Declan may have stayed. But I don't blame him for wanting to go. I can't stand the fault the next season with him in charge. But Sullivan's to blame for all of this.
No, he is. He's Sullivan now.
There in his little fucking jacket. Yeah. But the geezer's a fucking plank. I hate him. He's really, until him goes, we're never going to do fuck all with this club.
We're not.
Looked like do nothing. He looked like a 1970s Capri interior, didn't it?
We're not.
I've got a Rem, but the biggest dildo he's got in his shot straight up his ring. I can't stand him.
Jesus Christ, that escalated.
He's upset you,
but mate, honestly, I mean, Gary and John will tell you my reaction earlier on to the news. It weren't great, was it, Gal?
No,
well, you honestly, in the WhatsApp group, you were tedious this morning. You were really tedious. You just went on and on. You fell out with John as usual.
Yeah,
you nearly fell out with me.
So pissed off, honestly. But but the thing is, I had to get it out of my system before I did this show. That's the thing. I did.
I know it, Nick, but what did I say to you ages ago? He'll be here at the end of the season. I'll tell you what, fucking wouldn't surprise me he gets a new contract. We're going to be 2 strikers short. I messaged you earlier. Scamacca's gone. If he stays, Scamacca's gone. If Antonio goes, he had 18 months trying to find a striker. What the fucking hell are we going to do trying to find 2 strikers? There ain't no one I can think of out there that can play. But Antonio was right in what he said. Right? It takes a special person. There's only one Antonio, really.
Yeah, it's true.
Scamacca's not that striker. Ings ain't that striker. Where the fuck's that dopey bastard going to find 2 strikers?
Well, even though Antonio...
Up front.
How many goals did Antonio score last year? It weren't many, was it?
Well, it weren't many.
14? 30?
No, but he's a work
It weren't that many, was it, John?
In all competitions, was it? It was double figures, wasn't it?
Well, I think he played really well, Tony, against the great, the big sides. I mean, he looked really good against Liverpool, against Arsenal recently, and things like that. But he ain't been as good as that all season, has he?
He got 5 goals in 33 appearances in the league.
Yeah. Okay, it must be 10.
He got 1 goal in the domestic cups.
6.
And 7 goals in the Europa. 7 goals in the Europa Conference.
There you go. So 30.
Who you on about? Antonio here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Moyes wants an Antonio type player. Well, who is there? I can't think of a striker like that. So whoever he brings in, he's going to ruin.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they've got to be with the type of role that Antonio has to play. They've got to be robust because normally they're big strike. Because all you're doing in that role is getting the shit kicked out of you all game. You're going up against big physical defenders, putting your body on the line all game long. You're getting no support.
Yep.
So they're going to break down.
Yep.
Most players in that sort of scenario will break down at some point.
So but then that eradicates your theory about Bowen being up front because I don't think Bowen could take that.
I think he is tough though. I mean, he's always on his knees, rubbing his foot, but he never gets. No, if Bowen went up front, you'd have to slightly change your style, wouldn't you? Because he could only do. Could Bowen hold the ball up? I'm not too sure. He couldn't play with his back to defenders. He couldn't play with his back to defenders. I don't think. Yeah,
I'm just looking at this though. Yeah, no, he couldn't do that role. He couldn't do that role. But he's a completely different type of finisher. He scored 12 with 7 assists. Antonio 13 with 4 assists. Bowen has scored 12 with 7 assists. Benrahma 11 with 4 assists.
Yeah,
even Fornals has scored 7 with 2 assists.
I know.
And Scamacca, who's been out most of the season, has scored 6.
Yeah, we've had a lot of games though.
That's what I'm saying. Who are we going to get in? What strikers can you think of that is a Moyes type striker?
Well,
he's not going to change his style, is he?
I don't know.
Brozier would be an Antonio style,
but I don't know who I would wish it on coming to play in this system because the last few times me Scamacca, I love him. I think he's such a talented player. He's a brilliant player, and I think it's disgusting the way it's gone for him. I really do. And if he does end up going, yeah, I do. I just don't like seeing us doing that, really. I know people are saying Brozier, but you're talking about someone we've just explained how brutal being our forward is. He's just done his fucking ACL, so he's not made of steel, and he's only young. I'm not too sure, really. I like Brozier, but Antonio's unique, isn't he?
Yeah, there's not many players.
There's another player I can think of that's similar is Lukaku, but I wouldn't want him nowhere near our club.
But how bad is it, though? How bad is it that we're saying it? We're arguing amongst ourselves because it is such a we play a system where we need a striker that can basically do everything himself.
Yeah.
That's the system that this is what we're talking about here. A bloke who can jump up, win a fucking header, and then run on to that header as well. Hold it up.
Run past 3 or 4 men.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that comes from the lack of pace in the side, though. And if we're going to bring pace into the side, you don't think because the way that we're going to take him because yeah, go on.
Where do you think Harvey Barnes is going to play? Up, fucking up the pitch. He won't. If he's left winger, he'll be sat back. If we're playing our normal way, we protect the ball and we protect the goal for 70 minutes. We've heard this before. And then we'll push on and we'll have an exciting last 10, 15 minutes if we're still in the game. That's generally the way that we play. It's the way that Moyes likes to play. You know,
knowing Moyes, he'd have Harvey Barnes as a backup goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, look, is a good one here. Look, Jones said Tony from Brentford, who is currently on a ban, but he's back in January. Tony for me would be be a perfect signing.
Yeah,
perfect signing.
I think there's bigger clubs than us after him. So.
He'd love being sponsored by Betway as well, wouldn't he? Love it.
Yeah, but imagine that. Imagine the irony.
Yeah,
it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? But Tony, you're completely aligned with all of our thinking. Really, it's just we do all feel the same. It's just Gary.
You spent the morning telling us we didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Listen,
you weren't listening to me. I was just venting. I wanted an argument. I wanted a fucking argument this morning. That's what I wanted.
You was arguing with the wrong people because we was agreeing.
No, you was the only ones there.
We wasn't there, Nick. It was on fucking WhatsApp. You would argue. You'd argue with yourself in a room. You would. Christ Almighty, a fucking knobhead. You know what I mean? Sorry.
Yeah, but look, it made me feel better. Look, I'm all right now. See,
brilliant. That's good. That's really good.
I brought you lot down. I'm all right though.
How is the old ticker, Tony?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm still a long way off getting back to work, but walking every day. It's getting there. I mean, it saved my life, mate. Because
good.
Well, I'm lucky. I've got where I work for. I've got private medical care. If I'd have had to wait for the NHS, and I'm not knocking the NHS in any way.
No,
I will
just
be
overrun it now.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Well, hopefully Moyes will turn a corner and the football will be so exciting.
Listen, we've got.
I'm not getting wound up with it no more.
We've got a hope for it, haven't we? You know, the likelihood is it's going to be shit again next season. But look, you don't know. We don't know. I'm expecting it to be shit. It might not be. We're going to have to wait and see what happens.
Just buy into it, Nick. Buy into it.
I'm not going to buy into it, Gary.
No, you're talking about buying season tickets again.
I was until that news came out.
God,
hang on a minute. Come on, Nick. Get back over there with us, boy. Come on, son.
I do go over there and I suffer it a couple of times a season.
Meeting in a supporters club,
and it is suffering it. Whenever, do you know something? Whenever I've been over there this season, I've gone over there and I thought, why have I come over here?
Yeah, a lot of people thought
it's been shit. It's been shit.
True. It's true, Nick. But then again, it's been interspersed with the odd delight. You know, there's been some. You're never going to get a great season, are you, under David Moyes? But you do get highlights. And it's worth it for that. It's been worth it for those highlights.
We ain't going to win a cup every year.
What you said earlier, Barry, about
whatever it was.
What you said about Sullivan being vindicated, I think he's just got lucky there with that one, and he sat there rubbing his hands.
Tony, what I'm saying is, Tony, what I'm saying is, he thinks in his head that he's been vindicated.
Yes. He's just got lucky with it.
That's what I think. Yeah.
But when you get all the media coming out and going, "Oh, West Ham done the right thing, sticking by Moyes," they're right in essence. But if any of them have watched it, they would probably say it has been dire. But at the end of the day,
but do you know what? Just ready. So I know you said you're not going to get wound up, Tony. But just picture this: you're 5 games into the season.
He's recovering. He's had heart problems.
We've watched shit. We're fuming, right? We're fuming, and then you see his post-match press conference. The Moyes out banner comes out, and he comes out. He goes on camera and he says, "I've given him three lots of European football, given him a cup, saved him from relegation twice, and this is how I get treated." And that's going to get churned out over and over and over again.
Yeah. I'll tell you what you could say is whoever put that Moyes out banner up inspired David Moyes to do better.
Well, what I'm gonna do then, I'm gonna book myself in to see the cardiologist again and have another round of artwork done.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll let you go because you've got other callers waiting, or you're going to ring other people.
We haven't got any more, mate. So that is fine. That is fine, unless anyone else does want to ring in.
I think you're our last call of the season.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So when you're back on, then, lads, are you going to do anything through the
August?
We're going to be doing the obviously the daily shows with the transfer news and stuff like that.
Arnie is phoning in. Yeah. Arnie, Arnie, call me back in a minute once this call's finished, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, the Danish guy.
Yeah.
So this is just a bit of information for everyone. We're going to take probably a month at least off of the Sunday shows, the Sunday night shows. This was supposed to be a Sunday show, but Nick was too hungover. Probably 4 weeks to 6 weeks or so. And we're going to time it. But anyway, and then in the summer,
we will do shows. We'll do shows.
Yeah, we will definitely do shows in the week, and we'll keep doing shows around the transfer stuff and the MOYES stuff and everything else. We'll probably do 4 or 5 a week of those. But it's just the long weekend shows like this. We'll give them a break, and then we'll come back a few weeks before the season starts. There will be one show in the summer where we're going to do it from around Andy Miles's pub.
Yeah, we're going to film that. That'd be good. That'd be live.
So we're going to do a sort of live show from there. So that will kind of be probably in the middle of our break, midsummer. So that'll be good.
Yeah, I'll get all the notifications. So I'll be watching best show by far. Love yous, lads. You know.
Cheers, mate.
Who's your favourite? Who's your favourite?
Oh, fuck.
I like you all, but I agree with Nick more than anything. Nick's the man. Nick's the man.
It's it.
Someone phone up that cardiologist. I'm phoning the cardiologist now.
Is that game? You mean the brain surgeon, John?
Yeah. He can't
phone
find
the brain surgeon for me. Is that Arnie who's coming? I'll be back.
Yeah,
because I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
Arnie. Yeah, great caller, lads. Anyway, go on. I'll let you get on to him and keep up the good work. And like I say, I love you, all of you. But I'll agree with Nick more.
Cheers.
Hope your recovery goes well.
See you
later.
All right, speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Which one
Bye.
did your wife fancy the most? I should have asked that. Oh, fucking,
he's a funny geezer, isn't he?
Why are you asking him hypothetical questions?
Call to this number a bard from your
Annie, I can't phone you. You're gonna have to phone me.
Type bastard.
No, just WhatsApp. It just says it's barred. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'll do it through WhatsApp. Can I do it through WhatsApp?
I think you did it through WhatsApp last time.
Oh no, he's back.
He's definitely back.
Hello, is that Arnie? Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Where's Tamma Massive? Everywhere we go. Where's Tamma Massive? Everywhere we go.
Yeah, boy. How are you, mate?
That was amazing. Good, and you?
Yeah. No, I'm very good. Listen, do you mind? Well, you have told us your name before, but for some reason, I only think of you as Arnie. Are you okay for us to just refer to you as Arnie? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
What is his real name again? What is his real name again?
What?
What's your real name again?
Ryan.
Arnie's much better. No, you're Arnie.
No. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. No one from. You're called Ryan from Denmark.
Ryan. Do I have like a international name? That's how it is.
Jesus Christ, that's a very British name. Bloody hell. Good luck to you.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Right, Arnie, what would you like to talk about, mate?
Just it's amazing that we won. Seriously, it's so, and especially for me, because about 3 months ago, one of my best friends, he passed away, and he was a West Ham fan. So I went to his grave the day of the match, and somebody else had put like a West Ham mark on his grave. So it was like so emotional for me when we won. And I don't really care about how we played, because if you look back at the past Champions League finals or whatever, it's never really a well played game.
True. Yeah. No, they're not. Well, it was Jose Mourinho once said. He said, "You don't play finals, you win them."
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Honestly,
even though I'm
yeah.
What was your friend's name, mate?
John.
John.
Yeah.
Good luck, John.
It was 53, but yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God,
but
same age as me. God.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No. But and I was so happy for like, even though I'm not a Moyes fan, it was so fun to see him celebrate and dance and stuff like that. He's a bit like that uncle who's like
just gonna say
who's a bit weird.
That
the uncle. It was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment, and you're absolutely right. It didn't matter how we won that trophy as long as we won it, because I know what John said earlier about we came out of 2006 and we were really proud. Me and Nick were fucking livid after that Liverpool final. We drove back down the M4, didn't talk to each other the whole way home, did we?
Yeah, no. But that happens most days, doesn't it? We used to.
It was such a wonderful fucking day, but it was morose on the way back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't even have it. I didn't even have it in me to moan after that when I was so heartbroken. I'll tell you what we have got. We're gonna Happy Hammerette's in the chat, and she's asked you to sing a song, but we get you to do it after, like when you at the end of your show. Did you see the Lucas Paqueta song? Just sold my car. Yeah.
To Lucas Paqueta. You know what? I was watching the final with some of my mates, and like their Man U supporters and Leeds supporters, and they were fuming because I kept singing that song, and also the and they were like getting annoyed.
You usually get is you're not massive.
The funniest thing with that song is it's got no relevance to football or Lucas Paqueta at all, is it?
That's what makes it brilliant. That's what makes it brilliant.
It's brilliant.
That's what makes it brilliant.
It's brilliant. So how are you feeling about David Moyes staying next season anyway, mate?
Like I'm not a fan of his, and I think I said it the first time I was on. This would have been the perfect moment for everybody to walk away. Like he would have had like written into the sunset. Everybody would have thought of him as a legend. But now I just cross my fingers and hope that it goes better than it did this past year. But it's going to be exciting to see what happens with the players. I just don't hope we sell Scamacca. I think we should loan him out without an option to buy, get some new strikers in, and then when we get the new manager in next year, then we can see what happens, because Scamacca, he's still a top quality striker.
He had a bad idea, because he's going to go somewhere and do well, and we made that mistake with Haller. So why agree to a fee up front? He's going to go. He's still an Italian international. If he goes back to Italy, he's going to be trying his heart out, no matter who he plays for, right? So I agree with that. Let him go there. Let him stir it up. Let him do well for an Italian team, and then in a year's time, we can get the proper fee for him.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is, Gal, is that once you send him out on loan, really, he's found it hard to settle anyway.
Yeah, he's already left, hasn't he? Then
no.
I'm only saying I'm assuming that he wants to go, John. I don't know that. I don't know.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, by sending him out on loan, all you're doing is further distancing him from the club. So he's never going to have the bond with the club, no matter if a new manager comes in or not. You're just, the same happened with, what's his name, Vlasic. He's never going to come back, even if.
Well, news of Vlasic, their option to buy him for the agreed 12.5 million expired on Saturday, just gone.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
They haven't taken us up on the option.
No, but he'll come back, but he won't want to be there, will he?
No,
that's what I'm saying. He's
go on loan again, won't he?
Yeah, but it's just, but I just think.
And all about things like that change quickly.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah, but I agree with Scamacca. And the thing is, because what's so frustrating is it took him so long. We've said it so many times tonight, but it took him 18 months to find that Scamacca. You're just worried now. It looks like Antonio's going, and Scamacca as well. You're just like, oh my god. And the forward player is so important to the David Moyes team, because generally, if Antonio plays well, we play well.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and also and also with Antonio, we don't really need him for his goals. We just need him to create chaos and space for our wingers.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
And also this thing about Benrahma being sold, I don't get that at all. I think if we get like a better, more progressive manager, I think Bowen and Benrahma, they're going to be 10 plus goals, maybe 8-9 assists each, if we just play more aggressive attacking football rather than this defensive park the bus stuff.
How do you feel about obviously Lanzini's going to be moving on, but I've also read that Fornals is going to be going as well. So how do you feel about that, losing those two?
I hate that.
I think Lanzini, for me, he's one of my favorite players. He's been for a long time, well. and I just don't. For now, like some of these players, you need those players in the squad because they might not play every game, but they still have a place and they're good technically. And especially after we won, it's just it's not the best way to start the new season by letting a lot of these like big time players in our club leave, because it like maybe we need to bring in 6 or 7 new players, and then we're gonna have the same issue as MOYES, where it takes time to embed new players and then it's gonna start all over.
But do you know the picture that paints, though, don't you? If the rumours are true about Benrahma, and if the rumours are true about Lanzini and Fornals, that's a lot of flair disappearing out of that team, out of the squad.
Yeah,
it's a lot of flair, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, who are they going to be replaced with?
It is. But then again, you know, Lanzini's been barely used. He's had not much game time this year.
Yeah, but I know, but he should have. It was unforgivable. The lack of game time, though, Gary. For when we've been carrying Souček for as long as what we were this season, where he's literally he's not participated in so many games. And what's John doing? And John, you all right?
Just had one of them silly messages come through. You know when it makes a noise.
Oh, not the not the orgasm one.
Sorry, yeah, I got done.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you know that actually happened to me the other day? Sorry, mate. That actually happened to me the other day. I got sent through a WhatsApp when I was in the garden talking to my neighbour with her newborn child. And
that was me, wasn't it?
No, there was that message, but someone else had sent it to me before you.
Okay.
And I've literally opened it, and my phone's loud. I've never been so embarrassed, honestly. Bastards.
Maybe it brought back memories of actually got pregnant.
Go on, Arnie. Sorry, mate.
I don't really get why if we sell Declan Rice right now, I think it's fair if we sell him maybe in a month or something. Because we need to wait for Man City or Man U to let go of some of their players, because that's going to create like a proper bidding war instead of agreeing to a fee right now.
Yeah,
earlier you spoke about that he shouldn't go to Arsenal, and I completely agree with that. Like maybe there's still another club, but if he really has aspirations, he needs to go to Man City or Bayern Munich or something like that.
I don't think Sullivan can wait.
You're short of a title almost.
I don't think Sullivan can wait to get his grubby little mitts on 100 million quid, right?
If you were Rice, though, would you not want to be patient and see who comes calling?
Well, yeah, for sure. you would be, yeah.
Yeah, just if you look at the history, I mean, even Chelsea, let's say we kept Rice for this next season. If Chelsea are back, they have a better history. Man City have a better history. Liverpool have a better history. Bayern Munich have a better history. I know Arsenal have been good this year, but it doesn't make sense to choose them because of one season, unless he's like really focused about staying in London. But it's up to him or the club. But
no,
sad story.
It is sad, and like I say, just with the type of players that we're linked with at the moment, we're linked to. Obviously, we've got Downs in there at the moment. We've got Souček. Paqueta's obviously packed full of flair. He is. So he is. But I think if you go back to the legacy David Moyes teams, generally I think there was only ever room for one flair player, wasn't there? And then you had pace in attack, but typically there was only ever room for one flair player.
There was always pace. Yeah, pace and physicality. Exactly. That's exactly what I remember of the David Moyes team. Yeah. They were effective, though. They were effective. The Everton fans didn't care because they were winning quite a lot and they were competing up the top of the league. And I think that would be our mindset if we were.
The league has changed, though.
Listen, you can have shit football. But if you're doing well, people will gloss over it. But if you've got shit football and you're struggling against relegation, that's when it turns.
Yeah,
right.
Always away.
I think you need to. I think you need to. I think you need to win. I think if you, and I mean almost like fucking every game. if you
Yeah.
set up like that to bore the tits off of the supporters that are paid to go and watch it,
You've got
you've
to
got to
win.
win that game.
Yeah. You have.
Because if it don't fucking
that's
work,
that's the trade-off, right? That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
What's this one here? Oh, this is a new one on me. Lanzini to Villa.
No, I've read it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they want him. Emery wants him. He ain't good enough for us, though.
I can't see that.
Why?
That's surprising if he goes there.
He's a good player.
I know he's
still a good player. And the thing is, if we were to play possession-based football, who better than Lanzini? Who finds space better than him? Who can turn the ball over better? He's brilliant. You talk about players who can pass and turn the ball over. Lanzini is perfect at that. I think he's still a Premier League player. He's just been grossly underused. And when, like I said, when you look, and it's going to happen next year, and that's why when we said about not finding Sullivan, when he said, if Rice goes, we might have to find 3 replacements. You don't need to. Piquet has taken the place up, obviously. Souček will never be dropped from that team, which means that we do need someone to come in and do the job of 2 men, which is what Declan Rice was doing last year. 1 player. And yeah, there isn't room for Fornals. There's no room for Lanzini. There's no room for any of those players. There's just not. And it's sad.
No. It is sad. It is sad.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because if I look at our midfield, if I take Declan Rice, Paqueta, and Lanzini or Fornals, I think it's only Manchester City who have a better midfield than us.
Yeah.
Like Declan Rice. I think it's better than Partey and Paqueta. He's only been playing like his level for 3 months. Imagine if he's doing that for like a year.
Yeah. Imagine those 2 together next season if you could keep them.
Talking about Villa though, that them getting hold of Tielemans, that's a great sign. Isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
But they've got the
manager. They've got Emery, haven't they? He's gonna. That's the thing.
If we get the signings right, if we do actually go out and buy, I'm thinking maybe an Amrabat or whatever else, right? But we do actually make moves to replace Deck and bring in not a player as good, but equivalent players. If we do that, just imagine how good Paqueta is going to be next year.
Yeah, that's the danger, though, isn't it? That we don't. I think people in the chat said it earlier when I mentioned Amrabat, and I looked it up a little bit, but apparently after the final, when he was lauded for his performance against us, apparently his brother came out and said that no, he won't go to a club like West Ham. He wants to go to a bigger club. So apparently that was in the Daily Mail that I read on the online.
And the thing is, it does bring you back down to earth because, like I said to you, if Declan Rice, a player who we've all seen the video after the final of Declan Rice doing the selfie where all the fans are singing, you imagine being that player, that adulation that he's getting from the crowd. He's never going to get that again. And even with that and the fact he's won a cup, he's still willing to just give that up and move across fucking London to Arsenal. They're not serial winners. But it does make it. It brings you back down to earth, and you think, well, fuck me, maybe we are just a tin pot. Maybe we do get carried away.
I don't. It's a case. I think
we're not tin pot.
I don't know. What's the problem? Why leave us for Arsenal then?
Nick, we ain't being forced to get rid of him. We're selling. Everyone's a selling club. Everyone, even Man U are a selling club. Right?
Yeah, within reason. Yeah.
Oh, fucking, I've got all sorts of insects.
I just think that
I've got them in here and all.
I think if you compare the West Ham squad to a lot of the bigger clubs, I think we're not far away. We just need the right owners. And then if we have 2 or 3 seasons where we progress the right way, I think we could be a bit like Spurs when Pochettino went there. They were like just outside top 4. Then they got the right coach, got some good investments, and then all of a sudden they went the top 4 for 3 or 4 years. I know, of course, now it's more difficult because of Newcastle, but I think two years ago we could have been more like or like a club up there.
Agreed.
There is one way where I can see David Moyes succeeding and pushing on and evolving, and that is if he is basically gets a new coaching staff in, a new head coach, someone who can literally coach a different style of football. Because look, he's not a coach; he's just a manager. And somebody that he will listen to, somebody that he can take guidance from, like he did with what's his name, who he lost,
Irving.
During his Irving, yeah. If he can do that, then maybe he's got half a chance. Because look, something drastically needs to change. If we can't change a manager, then maybe he's got to go out, be bold, and recruit people to, I don't know, that can do the job that he can't effectively, and he can just front it up. And that's and look, and that's what you do if you're a manager. All good managers, you recruit the right people underneath you, so I can do the job.
Yeah, of course. You have a good team. You have a good team around you.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. But we'll see.
Yeah, and also because last year he wanted to change the way he plays, but I've never heard of a manager change the way he plays. Like if you look at Mourinho, Pep, whatever, they have one system and then that's how they play. I think Moyes should do the same.
Yeah,
just get the players in that suits your style.
Well, they can't, especially in the top flight. You've come through. You're a specialist in something that you do. That's what you believe in. That's the way you see football. And everyone's different. And that is how David Moyes sees football. You can't just fucking change who you are and who you've always been. You can't. Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola couldn't set up probably to play a defensive game. Pragmatic. Yeah. He probably hasn't got it in him.
Mourinho's never changed either, is he? Like he says.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting.
No, but that's what he needs. I think he needs Alan Irvine. That's what they've said there. Moyes needs somebody that he respects, that can challenge him, that he trusts, that can challenge him, someone that he can listen to. Because I don't think we had enough of that. Because I can't believe for a minute that every single member of that backroom staff was agreeing with the way that he was selecting teams and sending them out and our tactics. I can't believe that for a minute. And I'm not saying that they weren't saying anything to him, but Moyes is a stubborn bastard, and I think he just doesn't really listen to people. I think he needs a powerful character in there.
A bit, yeah. An egomaniac will only listen to someone they respect. Everyone else would just be there for the sake of being there, almost. Which must be frustrating for the rest of the rest of the coaching staff, if true. I mean, I'd love to know how much he does listen to Nolan and Nevin and whatnot, but we'll never know.
Well, it's got to be true. And the thing is, if it is if they do all view football the same way and nobody does ever challenge anyone, then that's not a good environment either. You need to be challenged, don't you?
Of course, things need to be questioned. Yeah, well, things are going wrong.
Different ideas.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Yeah, because you need to get the best out of every manager and their way of looking at football. So it doesn't make any sense if he's just like the boss and in every thought process. But if we win, everybody's happy, and if we lose, like we did a lot this season, then all the problems come forward.
Sorry, didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, no. I just killed one as well. There was one of those crane flies. One of those crane flies just went across in front of me, so I squashed it.
That's disgusting. I was PCA onto you,
murderer. Right, but what we're going to do, Arnie? Thank you very much for the call, mate. We're going to close the call now, and as
Thanks,
per
Arnie.
Happy Hammeret's request earlier on, you sold my car to Lucas Paquetá. Take it away, mate.
Yeah, I just sold my car to Lucas Paquetá.
Cheers, mate.
That's brilliant.
And Gary, I just want to wish everybody a happy summer and all that stuff. But
you
before I
too.
go, I'm gonna need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle.
Brilliant.
Do you think Moyes is going to keep us up, or do you think we're going down? What do you reckon? What do you reckon is going to happen next year?
I think we're gonna stay up quite comfortably because I think this year he's gonna realize he needs to stick to what he knows.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate stuff. Play to his strengths, get players in, and then hopefully we're going to have a good season and go far in the Europa League.
It could it could happen, right? We're all being and funny things do happen when you're expecting the worst. Sometimes it can go the other way. We're just going to have to hope that is the fucking case this year.
Listen, right. Just a stat for you. I know, Nick, you don't like this one. 1965, we won the Cup Winners' Cup. 1966, we got to the League Cup final. 1980, we won the FA Cup. 1981, we got to the League Cup final. 1975, we won the FA Cup. 1976, we got to the Cup Winners' Cup final. This time, we've won a major cup. So next year, we're going to get to a final.
Ooh.
If it goes on trend, we're going to lose it. But we're due to get to another final.
I'll take that. I'll take
it as well.
I'll take it.
That sounds amazing.
It does. It does.
It's going to be a good season.
We'll cling on to that anyway. We'll cling on to it.
Yeah.
We will. And listen, Arnie, Ryan, if you do come over to England next year to watch a game, make sure you look us up because it'd be great to have a beer with you.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I'll do that for sure.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Them Danes can fucking drink though. I used to work for
Can
Danes.
they drink?
They can
Oh,
drink.
right.
My
That's
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love our beer. That's for
Oh,
certain.
Tuborg.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, mate. Arnie, it's
Thanks,
been a
Arnie.
pleasure, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, take care. Have a nice evening and a good summer.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Andrew.
Nick.
See you later.
Ciao.
See
See you. Bye.
Oh,
God, I'll tell you what. I bet they haven't got
Right.
Denmark's Got Talent with that singing voice, have they?
he's a top guy, though.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, but
brilliant.
he can't
He's
sing. He
brilliant.
cannot sing.
Yeah.
He
No, I
cannot
thought that was
sing.
that was a great rendition. I love that. So, what you so look, a couple of things, right? We this channel's been running for 20 months now, just over a year and a half, and
Yeah, it seems
we
like
just
forever.
clocked over 6,000 subs a week or so ago. Well, no, a couple of days ago actually,
Yeah.
and our total views were up to like 1.1 million above that now, and it's ridiculous because we've only made
and when you
300
consider,
and
but when you
something
can
video.
Exactly, when you consider, and this isn't digging out other channels that do that, by the way,
No,
but
it's not. No.
our video library is just making videos like this, so we don't upload clips of the game and stuff like we tend to not do that. So it's impressive, really, for that. We're quite proud of it.
This is our 377th video that we've made.
Yeah, it's not many, really.
That's it. It's not many.
No.
But we did notice a trend, wasn't it, guys? Because when you two did the first ever show, was it 200 views?
Yeah, the first ever show was me and Nick.
You joined in like the second week, John.
Well,
yeah, you did.
Saying, like, all the ladies
Yeah.
tuned in, didn't they?
It was our first pre-record was me and Nick, 19th of September 2021. We got 172 views and a total viewing time of 5 hours.
How many views on my first encounter, Gary? How many views on my first show?
You and Nigel were actually on, Nigel made his debut at the same time and we had 672 views. So how many of them were due to Nigel?
And I'll tell you what, a massive shout out to Nigel, because even when we kind of just as we got started, really, we was nothing. We had nothing. We had no followers, and obviously Nigel's Nigel. He knows everyone. He's quite a big deal in the West Ham world, and he was so good for us. He was peddling our shows and trying to get us out there. So Nigel, we'll be forever grateful to him for sort of how he helped us. And
and we've got this strange thing going where it's kind of unique in the West Ham world. We've got 6,000 subs, and a lot of our videos we get 5,000, 6,000, or even more views. One we put up the other day's got 9,000. This one will probably go over that as well.
Oh,
we've kind of stuck to this trend of matching our views with our subs, which is pretty good,
Well, it means people keep watching us, which is nice.
Yeah, and we don't make money out of this. We just do it for fun, right? So
apparently, used to are always on holiday. I'm not, so I don't know what
that's right.
there.
That's right. So
we're Keiko, aren't we, Gal?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Can't move.
Gary's just come back from Prague.
But no. But anyway, look, the big message is thank you all for your support. We couldn't have done it, each and every one of you. We love interacting. We we get lots of regular people on here, which is brilliant. Out in Prague and whenever I go to a game, whatever, I always get people coming up to say they watch Claret and Booze, and it really sort of means a lot. So thanks for that. Made a lot of progress in a year and a half, and we're going to have a couple of weeks off, much deserved rest now, apart from transfer news and stuff like that. We'll do the individual shows. We're going to have a couple of weeks, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks off of the late nights. But we will come back and do that summer special at Andy Miles's pub in his house. So we've just got to figure out how we're going to film it and do it live, and what we're going to do. It's going to be some sort of it'd be too late probably for end of season awards, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll make it fun though.
We'll do something anyway. But and also look, one good positive about Moyes still being here is you still get to see me explode on a weekly basis. So that's a good thing.
Sorry,
that's a good thing.
Oh,
Imagine we got a manager that you actually liked.
Fucking hell, we go home.
We sort of lose subscribers, won't we?
Yeah, I know. KP, thank you very much. Thank you very much,
mate. Thank you for the
Cheers.
I'd love to know where all that money goes. I don't know where that goes, that money.
I'll tell you where it goes. Fucking Google the bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
YouTube.
You buy into all this tech shit, don't you?
That's
What
right.
I mean, use milk tokens. That's what I do.
No, it's really nice. No, we're gonna have a lovely curry. We actually are gonna have to have a curry. We should do something from that as well.
We should.
We can either go to Enfield. We can go to Enfield Tandoori, or I can come to yours, and we can go. Was it Bollywoods? Isn't it?
Bollywoods, yeah.
We could meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Because Enfield's a long way and it's very close to Tottenham, and I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
I think
so I don't
Chingford's in
really
the middle,
like going
isn't
there.
it?
I don't like coming home.
Chingford.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is good. Nick, can you do a montage of ranting clips? Fuck me, that'd be the longest montage ever, wouldn't it? It'd be about 5 hours long.
I don't think I can take it. The thing is, Nick's rants on WhatsApp, although we don't see his face, are far worse than his rants you see.
Yeah, I'm just an angry
His
guy.
rants on WhatsApp, he's like today. I've never known anyone. What? Me and Gary were agreeing with him, and he was still.
I wanted someone to have a row with me, and you weren't fucking arguing with me, John.
Look in the mirror and have a row with your ugly mug. I'm trying to work, and you're fucking wanting to row with me about nothing.
Oh dear, no.
There you go.
No, but it's good, all good. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah.
It's been emotional.
Yeah, thanks all.
All right. Should we see ourselves out with a West Ham on massive?
Let's do it.
Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. West Ham on massive. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. Yo, 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 yo. West Ham on massive. Everywhere we go. West Ham on massive. Tell them how we got this skill. West Ham on massive. Everywhere we go. West Ham on massive. Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. West Ham on.
Just quickly, everyone, they all hated that song, and now they secretly love it when I put that together. You do, because you started using it on your videos, Gary, didn't you?
I quite like it.
You quite like it. See? Daddy knows.
No, I honestly, I just went from feedback. It's a democracy, Nick.
Yeah. Gary, we must never have this screen configuration again, because this is quite disconcerting with these mics positioned like this. The way they are.
Very disconcerting.
Right. Anyway, speak to you later.
I'm putting Babe Station on.
Give me your words.